Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. It all ends today. This is the Grand Final, Season 6, OoTR Standard Tournament, Game 2, SeYsEy versus RyuuKane. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely day, wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. And let's get this party started, shall we? If I can find the stat screen, that is. There we go. And this is Game 2 of the Grand Finals with RyuuKane coming from the lower bracket and evening things out yesterday. So, I'm Tobias. With me on commentary today are Deadly Thunder and Yoshi Kyon. Folks, how are ya?
I'm excited.
Hyped. Hello? Oh
Yeah.
my god. This is jeez. I can't lie. I got a bit spoiled yesterday just with the ping of of commentary today. So I watched back the race yesterday and oh god, was it such a good race.
It was a wonderful race. It was so close across most of, basically all of it, actually. And these two really pulled no punches. I can't put it any other way.
I feel like there's been a running trend for grand finals over the last few years to have incredibly close races, and in most of those cases, runners who know each other incredibly well. And these two are no exception. They've played against each other so many times. They've been in so many of the same communities and tournaments. I think it's incredible to see them both here as two, I think, underappreciated of top runners in the community. I'm looking forward to should be another amazing race today.
Yes, it should. But let's take a look back first of all. Let's see. SeYsEy made it straight through the winner brackets. Never lost a single match. Sent to the lower brackets. People like Zuros, Cine, Zora, or Sora, I should say, Exodus. Oh, and a one person called RyuuKane. And after that, what the hell's happened? And on the other hand, RyuuKane lost to SeYsEy in the winner bracket semifinals, was sent to lower bracket, and himself before that, he sent to lower bracket Juke, Fanta tanked, Mario, Wooden Barrel. And in the lower brackets, then he went on to eliminate Gogeta, the Salty Sponge, and what the hell's happened, to claw it back to the grand finals, and then clawed the series back yesterday. Has now evened out the series. Coming from the lower bracket, obviously, he needs to win one more game than SeYsEy. If SeYsEy had won yesterday, that would have been it. We would have crowned our new Season 6 champion, but that wasn't to be. It all comes down to today. I'm excited. In major tournaments, these two, according to the data I have a record of 13, or had a record of 13-6, both of them yesterday. And well, now it's 13-7 for SeYsEy and 14-6 for RyuuKane. Head to head, though, so far they've faced each other twice in majors, and it's 1-1, obviously. And before they've actually played two other solo head-to-head competition races, and yeah, it's still even. They're 2-2 in total.
Yeah, they went
Good grief.
1-1 against each other in one of the league seasons, and now they've gone 1-1 against each other in Season 6 tournament, and we need a decider. We need somebody to come out ahead today.
Oh god.
Yep.
Do we have tie rules? Does someone have to come out ahead?
I think they do. I think in fact they do. Oh, the boss was summoned. Hey, Trez.
Okay. So, why do I even put up a stat screen if everything that's on the stat screen is being nullified by you having entirely different stats. I don't get it. It's
We just
entirely
have
different.
more stats. We just have a lot of stats.
By the way, why do we have a stat screen if the game is starting in 4 seconds and we're still on the stat screen, Tobias?
Oh.
Well, A, we shifted to the game, and B, your lovely race page doesn't show the stream delay until we actually yes, because your race page doesn't show the stream delay until I actually switch to the two-player scene.
How is it supposed to know the delay if the players that define the delay are not loaded? Huh? Answer that.
Fix your software. Anyway, we're starting!
Guys,
That's a spawn. Bigger on
game.
crafts a Kokiri sword. Gerudo Valley has a magic meter. Hammerrocks has a magic meter, I should say. Fairy, OGC Fairy dead, and OGC Fairy still dead. Oh, and Pierre is small key. Oh boy, that was a lot of information. Not a single path hint.
I might have to refresh for a second. Give me a sec.
With the early hints there, like you say, no path hints, so it's kind of a little underwhelming as far as the hints go. So I think the big thing here is like, will we see them go to River early? That's kind of been the big play that people tend to go towards for more hints. But starting as child, you'll probably not see that one for a little while.
Yep. What we do know is quite a few major items. Hammerrocks is a magic meter. OGC Fairy dead, well, okay, but also Bigoron crafts a Kokiri sword, so depending on dungeon layout, that could be big. That can basically already tell us how bad is the trade quest that they're going to have.
Hope it's the frog. Oh, jeez.
Oh, please,
yeah,
no.
I will. The highlight of the match yesterday was definitely getting a frog warp in.
Oh yeah, that. I say they don't want to do that today, though. Surely, like even if it's Kokiri sword, Deku's just a good play to do, right?
I mean, yeah, sure. If you can get the Kokiri sword, if it's somewhere accessible to you, just do Deku. It's a super check dense dungeon. It's done after 2 or 3 or 4 minutes. So, just do it.
I'm just looking at the start with obviously you start with the Gorm Ruby. Likelihood is probably it's a medallion dungeon, but hey, you never know.
And an early Requiem from Lon here, so we'll probably see that played out of the silo and then walking back out from the market again, because the silo takes a long time to get out of anyway. Getting the extra song on the way through is just an extra convenience.
Yeah, I mean, and our child spawn was right in front. Ooh, we're taking those.
Even
That's
better.
bomb shoes, a pack of logic breakers.
I'll say if you're not playing Requiem out of the silo, you're definitely doing it now. Like coming back out after getting the bomb shoes is just slow. How many do we get?
We're not seeing it immediately.
Yeah, depending on the song in the Colossus, we might see almost immediately. And we might not see until, Lost Woods, probably.
Didn't see anything up there.
Doesn't look too useful.
Talking of not too useful, Epona.
Oh, hello! That's a horse.
Not going to do much right now, but at some
just you
point,
wait.
good. But for now, not the best.
It does give us access to the Gerudo area, logical access, that is. And Toilet is dead. Continuing the trend of not giving us a single path hint, Sunken Silver Rupees is dead.
Yeah, it's weird that we haven't seen a path hint. But we're probably going to find one soon, right?
Hopefully, I think.
Potentially.
If we don't have one by the time they've got to the end of Sacred Forest Meadow, something has gone wrong. Something has gone horribly wrong with this seed by that point.
Then
They'll have another like
Randallbot,
6 hints by that point.
at that point, Randallbot will have delivered us a seed that is worthy of a finals. Oh, hello, Iron Boot!
So again, an item that doesn't do much.
Some divergence by our runners here. We have SeYsEy staying a bit more in logic here, deciding to do child checks in market. Meanwhile, RyuuKane is taking that shoe pack he got and using it to look at the first few checks in Child Spirit. Blind, I should add. Both of them have not checked the pedestal yet.
Yeah, and I was going to say, up until we saw the key there, if Ryu just sees 2 small chests here and no keys, doesn't even need to use up those chews, could just kind of hold them for later, but the second you see a key, you're going to try and make this play count.
Yep, and it looks like we are seeing, well, not a useful item there, but he must, I think there was, oh, Team Never by a Shield would have won. Yeah, meanwhile, SeYsEy getting our first Skulltula information. We have learned from the Boulder of Destiny that 40 Skulls is more explosives, more bomb chews. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling tense. I am literally shaking with excitement about this race. This is amazing. So it looks like Ryu is intending to go deeper into Child Spirit here.
This is potentially a really big play as well, because like this is the kind of thing that most people will put off for a little bit. And so if Ryu gets something big here, that could shape a ton of the early game, and it might give him a really notable lead over SeYsEy at very little cost.
So I really like both players. Oh,
Hello, Din's Fire. Speaking of important items.
We're really getting like a ton of major items that will be great an hour later. But right now, do nothing.
These are awesome, but they don't give us a lot in terms of, useful stuff right now.
Oh, does the chew not explode on that then?
Oh, it should.
Oh.
Ooh. Hype houses hype.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
A Goron tunic.
Yes,
okay, I guess. And a strength upgrade. Speaking of items that we need for early game.
I'd argue that strength is a lot more nice to have than Irons and Dins.
Oh,
absolutely. Right now.
At least in the early game, it's a little less relevant with the bomb chews. It gives logic for Dodongo's Cavern, but you've got to imagine they're both going to go in there with the bomb chews regardless, fairly early. But still nice to have, just on the grounds of being able to save those explosives as well.
Gerudo's there's our first path in. Gerudo's Fortress on the path to Phantom Ganon. Hookshot?
That's kind of awful, but considering we have opponents already...
This would be awful if we didn't have a horse. That's for sure.
It's interesting because Fortress... Okay, we'll ignore the hovers being logic for a second. You're thinking, okay, you can hookshot over or longshot over to the rooftop chest, or have the bow for horseback archery. So either way, you're kind of looking at having one of the forest items to then get your other one. Which of course means it's going to be hovers leading to hookshot on the roof and not having a bow for ages.
I just think it would be funny if it was bow on top of the fortress and hookshot on HBA. I think that'd be hilarious.
Just both of them? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd just be hilarious. I don't necessarily want it to happen, I just think it'd be funny.
We can do that. But bow on the fortress rooftop plus hookshot on HBA also implies having hover boots to, get there.
I mean, likelihood is we're gonna be finding a bow or something very shortly. Like bow, hovers, anything to really help us logically. All depends on what forest medallion is. Not forest medallion, what forest, which medallion forest is. There we go.
And it looks like we're about to get our pedestal check from RyuuKane.
Yeah,
Ryu is done being a child.
Skipping out on Lost Woods and the child's song in Sacred Forest Meadow for now, so...
That is interesting indeed.
I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, if you get Minuet in your adult one, it just makes it easier to get back to. The only way it hurts is if Minuet's at Saria's check.
Yeah, there's I think there's a couple. If you get Zelda's Lullaby there as well, you'd have liked to get the song in the graveyard when you go there as adult. But you're getting at least 2 songs as adult, and you're only getting 1 as child. Because I'm assuming if you're going adult here, you're also going to go over to get the one in Sacred Forest Meadows. So it's more likely you get a useful song as adult right now, and there are more checks to do.
That's our medallion check. So we have Forest Water, Shadow, Forest Water, Deku, Jabu, and Spirit to do. Because like yesterday, we're starting with a pocket stone as our free dungeon reward. So that's kind. It also means, of course, that we're not getting a path hint for every one of our dungeons. One of them we're gonna have to do unhinted.
Also very notable that Fire and Dodongo's Cavern as the 2 stones. There's almost nothing locking those 2 dungeons generally, so pretty reasonable chances of getting a kind of spicy song over on the Ocarina of Time check, who's the Zelda's Lullaby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're just missing, Bomb Bag and Hammer for that? Well, if they get lucky enough with Fire BK.
Not logically, because Pierre is a small key.
Oh, like I said, but just depending on where Fire BK is.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got the tunic as well.
Never mind.
There's an important song. That's Zelda's Lullaby in Sacred Forest Meadow. Market
Market.
Iron Boots? Oh.
Wait.
I somehow doubt it's that, but...
I mean, it could be
but
irons
if it is,
for,
I'm up for it.
I mean, irons for trade quest item locked in water or icy waters or something like that. Or it could just be a slingshot. But
so notably here, mentioned Ryu going adult without doing the Child Lost Woods and Meadow. Zelda's Lullaby is one of 2 or 3 songs that kind of punishes you there because you won't be able to get the graveyard song now, so SeYsEy will just have that little bit of extra efficiency or ability to kind of move a little bit quicker, clear out checks along the way as opposed to having to come back later with Zelda's Lullaby. Ryu did get magic from the Redad Grotto while there though as well, so...
ooh.
So, first of all, a few things just happened. We got a slingshot in Kak Open Grotto, but also we learned that Well is on the path to Twin Rova. So slingshot implies that our market has something that leads us to Kokiri's sword, or it has Kokiri's sword itself.
We know that it doesn't have Kokiri's sword just because of the big Auron hint.
Oh yeah.
But it can very definitely just have the trade quest item or something leading to it, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, you're right, but that means it has our trade quest item, or it has, a worst case, just the iron boots that imply our trade quest item is in Water Temple or in Tektite Grotto.
All they are is just unlock the bomb bag or something to make way for handing it in, I guess. Actually, no, there's nothing stopping them from handing it in. As long as it's the claim, if it's the claim check, there's nothing stopping them, is there?
No, it's strength you can
We
get
can
up there,
just
yeah.
walk up the mountain. Right, time for the first Dompe race. I'm gonna say 49 seconds.
I'm gonna say 40, 47.
I was going to say
Ooh.
48.
That is
Look at
spicy.
us!
Oh, hi, magic! Hammerrock's magic not coming into play today. We have a bomb-locked magic in Kakariko's Redead Grotto.
I'll say another fun thing about that magic as well, being able to get the song and the item in Composer's Grave, which Ryu won't be able to get. So if that's something important, then SeYsEy has a pretty good advantage there.
I think the other
Yes,
interesting
indeed.
thing here is SeYsEy having done Lost Woods compared to Ryu having done Spirit. Ryu has ended up using up more bomb chews than... Oh, that's a hookshot. Well,
Well,
hello.
That
And
is
more bomb
French
chews.
vanilla and more bomb chews. Who needs
20
a
pack.
bomb deck anyway?
It's the 20 pack! Also, I was
Nice!
right, 47 seconds! Which means bow and... Oh, wait, bow or hovers in Fortress?
or something leading to them, yeah.
Uh-huh.
There is still the little quirk of, we don't have a song to get to Forest yet, so it could be logical Forest access, but we'll worry about that one once we've seen a few more of the songs, because you get that information as you go. You're always going to pick up those songs, and you don't worry about them until you know them.
I say, well, Sarias or Minuet have to show up at some point, because Forest is the Forest Medallion. And that, I mean, that in itself unlocks a song. So, I feel like it has to show up, unless it's supposedly logical AD. Like with Minuet or Sarias on OOT, but...
I think, yeah, the big thing that could lead to Phantom Ganon in terms of songs, in terms of locking the access, would be if one of the songs is on the Minuet check or on the Prelude check behind the Forest Temple, and then the other one is in Ice Cavern. At that point, Ruto's letter turning up as the path to Phantom Ganon is feasible.
We've just seen a bow, I think.
Oh, have
I
we?
think that's a bow on top of DC. I think that was a bow. Either bow or boomerang, I couldn't really tell.
That strength was bomb locked, correct?
Was that Midas?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. That was a
Midos,
Midos. The hookshot is available as well, so I don't think it can be.
So it
Can
would
be a bow on top there?
It absolutely has to be song access or the hover boots then. And the hover boots requires very specific key placement, so it's probably
Yeah,
it is a bow.
Probably a song.
Oh boy.
That's Gerudo Fortress, isn't it?
That is still really good information though. The Fortress path to Phantom Ganon, all of the items that lock songs at this point are still useful. Like,
True.
You're still going to want Ruto's letter because you have to do Jabu.
That's true. I just don't feel that Ryu is going to have the same, or feel the same urgency to get to Gerudo's Fortress as he might have felt 5 minutes ago. Now he will likely clear... Oh, hi! I mean, it's not in logic.
Oh.
Okay. Neighbor's love.
Okay.
So he will not feel the same urgency to get to Gerudo's Fortress as he felt 5 minutes ago, because he can now just clear Forest Temple, get himself another song. There's Nocturne in the Composer's Grave.
And a graveyard
game.
to more for hint, which is also just not useful.
Thanks, game. Thanks so much.
I mean, it's the
For
hook shot.
I mean, yeah. And if you've missed that somehow, then I honestly, I think that's more impressive than anything else they'll do.
I'm just thinking of the other path hints we've seen. So we've seen Bomb Above the Twin Rover, Market to Gomer, and then obviously Graveyard to Morpher and Gerudo Fortress to Phantom Cannon. Is that the other? That's only 4, right? We haven't found the
Yeah,
fifth?
we're
that's
still
4.
missing one, yeah.
So what are the chances of the path in Well being the bomb bag?
At this
Or,
point, I'd
or-
still say low. There are enough items for Spirit that, like, there's a lot of potential for what it could be.
Yeah, but Spirit is technically bomb locked. You need to beat the BMOs to get to a bunch of
yeah.
checks. So
Yeah. It's just that it's more likely a bomb bag for another dungeon is going to, like, I guess there are enough item requirements for Spirit that the odds of it picking the bomb bag specifically are lower. At the same time, I would not be at all surprised to see one of our runners go into Bottom of the Well at some point and pull out 3 different items that are all Path to Spirit, because it's a lot of checks in an early game location.
that is how OTR rolls, yeah. And we can full clear well at this point. So I'm sure that's on the menu or on the schedule for both of these runners next. Child segment. That being said, sorry, SeYsEy can full clear well at this point. Ryu has no idea where Zelda's Lullaby is.
Yeah, presumably when Ryu picks up Zelda's Lullaby, his immediate play will then be to go to Kakariko to do Bottom of the Well and pick up the song while he's there. And of course get his Nocturne that would have made it much easier for him to go back to Bottom of the Well, but
I'll say that was probably the worst song that could have been on there, like in RyuUkane's position. It'd just be Nocturne, just being able to easily get back to Kak.
yeah, I think that exact combination is about the worst it could have been for skipping Lost Woods. The Zelda's Lullaby into Nocturne there.
Yeah. The game was being a bit rude. Where was Prelude again, by the way?
Is that in the windmill?
Must have been.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, they've got like the same songs except for one, so.
SeYsEy still conserving those bomb shoes. Which I think is not a bad play.
I
You
didn't even
not having strength.
I didn't even realise. Of course he wouldn't have. Hasn't gone to Kikiri. Oh.
So we are seeing the Bomb Chew King Dodongo strat, which is a really cool strat for people who haven't seen it. It is also notably slower and also missed one of the Bomb Chews, so definitely having a slightly rougher time with King Dodongo than SeYsEy will.
Yep. Got it the second go round though, and that's all she wrote for King Dodongo on RyuUkane's side. Ryu will be the first to grab the Zora Sapphire, I guess. Or Kokiri Emerald, we'll see. From Dodongo's Cavern.
There wasn't really anything in DC, was there?
No,
Yeah.
nothing useful here.
It's not a bad play, as I mean, evidenced by both runners going for it. It's it didn't pay out today, it seems.
Yeah, especially with no knowledge of the All Dungeons song yet. I think just going for it there makes a lot of sense. Obviously, in SeYsEy's shoes now, it kind of lost a lot of value once you pick up Nocturne from the graveyard. None of the other songs are super useful, but it's still a lot of checks, and if this is kind of your plan going in, sticking to it while you then reconsider, reevaluate, and consider your next options from here just makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's been any other differences between the two aside from that.
Yep, one of them did the Kokiri Forest loop as child, and the other did Child Spirit, and that is about it. Let's see what Goron City has for us. This is so far a pretty standard opener. Not too much out of the ordinary, I should say. Except Ryu really skipping that Kokiri Forest dip, or walking to Kokiri Forest in this case, which might hurt him a bit, not having Zelda's Lullaby, not having Nocturne then after that.
Yeah, I feel like the big outlier here was Ryu essentially doing Child Spirit instead of Lost Woods and Sacred Forest Meadow and everything. Like, that definitely feels kind of like a non-standard play, and at the same time, with everything they had, it makes a ton of sense to do at that point.
Yeah. Ryu has decided there's nothing worth his while in the Goron City maze.
So I couldn't tell what was in that. That
I
magic makes
thought
it
it was
so much harder.
Yeah. But I think that was all three chests were small there. Let's see what's on the volcano.
Another boat?
Long
No, it's
shot.
another
That is
hook
a
shot.
long shot.
Oh,
Okay.
wait. Hovers? Okay, hovers for long
yeah,
shot.
hovers in well? No, sorry.
Hovers in Fortress.
Hovers
I
in
think.
Fortress sounds like a thing.
But
Or
wait, no,
really is
that
it a song axis?
The hovers on Morpher.
Oh,
Ew.
now we're talking.
I'm Bolero on All Dungeons.
Now
I
we're
think she's
talking.
cracked it. I think there we go. The strength that SeYsEy has was in Mido's house.
Yeah, just the Meadows.
And 50 did. That's good news.
Always nice to see that. Always nice. We're just missing the 30 hint, aren't we?
Yep. And any intel on OT, Burning Kayak, Skull Mask, and our last path hint, basically.
Ryu picking up a fast skull while he's here as well, which I think this is an interesting ties or ignore skulls, and I definitely like the approach that it looks like Ryu's going for, at least. I wouldn't be surprised if SeYsEy does the similar thing, which is you get ones that are convenient and on the way, but you don't really like overreach for them.
Yeah, I mean, especially until you learn that 30, 40, or 50 has an important item.
Yeah.
Obviously, once you learn that, you prioritize skulls a lot more, but until then, you just basically grab what's on the way.
I say, we've already seen these Lost Word chats from SeYsEy, haven't we?
We have.
I think the best thing for Ryu to see here, by the way, would be Vanilla Minuet. If he gets the Minuet on this song check coming up, then that firstly gives him a faster way there as child, and secondly explains the item in Gerudo Fortress pretty cleanly, because at that point you're looking at one item locking one song, which makes sense. The worst thing to see would be Sarius, because then you still understand that path in, and it's just okay, nothing out the ordinary, and you just ignore it until you want to get the letter, basically. But it then means that you have to walk back over to get your song as child, which is probably the thing you're wanting to avoid at this point.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't expect RyuuKane to hold back long on just doing Forest Temple. Logic be damned, you can make your way across and past Mido and just do the damn dungeon.
So it's Forest Medallion too, so definitely want to get on the board with that.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you can clear one of your medallion dungeons, you should probably just do it.
You just do it. It's progression. You don't think about it. You just do it.
Oh yeah, we can get
Ryu
this.
is grabbing this skull here. Interesting.
Yeah, I take back what I said earlier about not really overreaching for skulls. This is quite an aggressive push.
That's how
Grabs
you're
the token
supposed to get that skull. Okay.
Yep, 2 backflips and then you just get it. And there's Sunsong in the crater.
So almost no doubt as well here that SeYsEy will follow Ryu over to Forest. The big question here will be SeYsEy coming up on the Death Mountain Trail Fairy, because Ryu couldn't do that. Ryu does not have Zelda's Lullaby. So that'll be kind of the one new check in this area. And otherwise, we're probably going to be seeing double Forest Temples very shortly.
Which is unfortunate.
So we love Forest, don't we, Tobias?
Oh, we absolutely do. Quintuple Forest, most of all.
It's early enough that there is a lot to think about and a lot of information to go over. It's not you're looking for one item and you know it's not going to be in Forest because they have 3 other locations left after.
These are new hints. OGC Fairy is still dead, and Gerudo's Fortress still Path to Phantom Ganon.
Like, all I'm saying is that multi-world, when 5 of the 6 runners are in Forest Temple, you're just praying that the 6th just doesn't follow.
Here's a challenge.
Song of Time.
Okay.
The song I was expecting there, but I guess
Same
the
here.
Prelude and Burning Kakariko both potentially have the forest access that's locked away anyway, so because the Forest Temple is Forest Medallion, there's a little bit more that can be kind of locked behind it.
I think what's nice too is that if Well has Strength 2, they could just full clear. Well, logically not so, but they can just full clear GTG when they go over to get whatever's path in Fortress. Just means that they're not leaving anything behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess the Bottom of the Well is kind of the interesting kind of question mark here, because firstly, it's the most ambiguous path hint. It's the one that could lead to has the most variety in what the item there could be. And secondly, it's a question of, okay, SeYsEy is going to be able to clear it when he goes there. Will Ryu pick up the Zelda's Lullaby in Sacred Forest Meadow first, or will he go to Bottom of the Well looking for items before picking up that song? I think it's likely he goes for the song, but there are arguments both ways.
I think it's only likely that he goes for that song first because he also doesn't have any quick way to Kakariko. That might push him more towards going song first. Otherwise, if he already had Nocturne, I think no doubt you just do the well and hope for the best.
Yeah, and I guess the flip side to that is like they don't have a quick way to the Lost Woods either. No minuet. So a lot of it will come down to what song he gets from having the Forest Medallion after this. I think that will obviously we know it won't be Nocturne. But whether or not that's minuet will shape a lot of Ryu's routing, I think. But also knowing Bottom of the Well is on a path and not having Zelda's Lullaby, I think you just want to go and pick up that song first.
I've seen Sonic in chat as well. If it like when SeYsEy gets hovers, or if it, but just assume it is hovers at this point in Fortress. But if it is hovers, SeYsEy can just go Shadow, and that's gonna be a really, really big advantage SeYsEy will have, just because Shadow's just a long dungeon, and it could just progression could just lead into progression.
I think. It has to be something that locks both Minuet. It has to be an item that locks both Minuet and Saria's song, which not many items can at this point. It needs to lock 2 song locations. So I think we can probably logic this out.
It only needs to lock one if the Forest Medallion locks the other.
There.
I think it's unlikely.
So Gerudo's letter, basically.
Yeah. I think Ruto's letter is the most likely outcome, or something that leads to it. Hovers would only be for key logic in here, which I think is ruled out at this point because Ryu has 2 keys.
Right.
Yeah, so
okay.
Ryu would be able to drop down. Obviously, it still could be the hover boots if then Shadow had Ruto's letter. But I think the path leading to Ruto's letter in Gerudo Fortress is the most likely outcome here. The other thing I was going to note is that I feel like that Fortress path is a lower priority than the Bottom of the Well one. Because of the ambiguity on the Bottom of the Well, you don't know what item is going to be there, and having that information earlier helps you kind of shape your route more accurately, whereas at this point you can take a pretty good guess at what's going to be in Fortress. So you can kind of plan ahead into that without actually having to go and see what's there. And secondly, you know you can already clear Bottom of the Well. You cannot clear the Gerudo area because you can't do everything in the training grounds.
SeYsEy knows that.
We'll see them. Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. From SeYsEy's perspective. I think it's likely that by the time either of them end up going to Fortress, Ryu will have everything to also do Shadow.
I just think Ryu might push the Fortress path first, considering he has less information, doesn't know where ZL is. Again, yeah, if you're SeYsEy and you have Zelda's Lullaby, if you have a ready supply of bomb chews, bomb back be damned. You're just going to the well here, full clearing that.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of it will come down to what song we see coming out of Forest Temple here. Ryu, both of them, but Ryu first will, beat Forest, go over to Temple of Time, and then get a song. And that could be any of about 4 different things at this stage. If that's Minuet in particular, I think there's no question. I think Ryu just goes to get the song first. If it's not, that's where I think then there are questions of how much are you prioritizing being able to full clear the well? How much are you banking on getting Zelda's Lullaby somewhere available early?
Tricky in any case. We'll see. Still no sign of a major item in Forest. Which honestly makes sense given the paths that we have. It looks like Forest is pretty late in logic, this seed.
Yeah, for sure, actually. Like, I guess it depends on where the fortress item is. If it's horseback archery, it's available, but if it's on the rooftop, we don't have a way to get that yet. Well, I guess... Never mind, you can... In my mind, that's always
Run.
a hover boots thing.
It's like
He
you could just
goes
run through
trekking
lake.
for Scarecrow.
go backwards and forwards. It's just like, this is pain, but it will work out, and then it inevitably does, but you still feel pain.
That being said, Scarecrow is actually the point that makes me revise my earlier opinion that Ryu might prioritize the Gerudo Fortress path over well. You're right. He doesn't have access to the Scarecrow chest, and that is 1/3 of the checks in Gerudo Fortress here. So I don't think you take 1 in 3 odds, or 2 in 3 odds for having access to your paths if you go there.
I think the other question is, like, from Ryu's perspective, where can Zelda's Lullaby be at this point? Because it can't be an ice cavern and it can't be in the graveyard. He'll have seen the song in the Temple of Time. So his options would be a Burning Kakariko that's locked by Water Temple, which is very unlikely. All dungeons OOT song locked by Fire Temple at this point. That's reasonable. And then Sacred Forest Meadow. And I think that'd be it. I think he's seen everything else at that stage.
Yeah, and with that info, I think you just go to Sacred Forest Meadow and get more information. You're gonna have been in Temple of Time anyway to get your Prelude song. And there's a major item on Bow Chest. What is it going to be?
Oh.
A bottle.
First bottle?
First bottle.
Then they can do big pose. See if that's the trade quest item.
That
Probably
bottle
not.
is very out of logic, though.
To be fair, though, I think you keep a note of it, and then be like, if you get something on big pose, it's just like, okay, this is out of logic right now until I find another bottle.
I think in terms of forest access as well, if we're assuming it's as simple as the item in Gerudo Fortress leads you to forest access, whether that's a hammer with a fire temple that you can beat, or a Ruto's letter and you can just go and do Ice Cavern, that would be enough to put forest into logic. And even if the Scarecrow is incredibly slow to do, they do have the logic for all of the checks. It's just, well, it'd take a while.
This is where Valley Lake would have actually been a pretty good thing to do.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
That's fighting words in this house, man.
I say, any Valley Lakers? Oh wait, no, that's just the bottle, isn't it?
Yep, that's the bottle.
You have another big
Oh,
chase over on Ryu's side, though.
Oh,
that's the boss
there's
key. Never
yeah.
mind.
Well, it's a boss key.
Not so interesting. Okay.
It was a big chest. Just
It is important.
Just not exciting. Don't need boss keys. I'll have you know, standard rule set says otherwise.
Yeah. Technically, you can get to Phantom Ganon without the boss key. Practically, I don't think you want to DQ yourself in the grand finals.
Yeah, not a good look, honestly. Just saying.
We have made it through the pole loop in Forest Temple, on RyuUkane's side at least. SeYsEy close behind. SeYsEy's early... Or SeYsEy's doing the more standard routing of Kokiri Forest, Lost Woods, SFM has really paid off for him so far. Ryu will likely lose a few minutes getting that song from Sacred Forest Meadow, where SeYsEy will be able to pull ahead. And if I recall correctly, Ryu didn't really get anything of consequence in the Spirit Temple, did he?
No,
Not that-
nothing. I think no. You're the boss key, which is going to be good to have later, but it was in the firelock check, so SeYsEy having magic and dins will be able to get that just going through as adult, assuming you don't need the key from the child side. Also, as an aside, like, I want to take a moment. We're so focused on the routing decisions and the early divergence in this, and I think it goes kind of... One of the things I tend to say a lot with, like, events or games or anything that, like, with this is, if you hear nothing, that's usually a sign that things are going perfectly. I just want to take a second to say, these two are executing incredibly well. Like,
Yeah.
it's expected for grand finals, I know, but every runner will have little execution slips here and there, and there just hasn't been anything to speak of yet. Like, the fact that we haven't even thought to mention their execution means that nothing has gone wrong. It's just been impeccable to this point.
Like, if we have to say anything, then that's practically just like, I think Mel said it yesterday, nitpicking. That's literally all it is at that point. It's just, they're just so, the two of them are just so good that it's kind of hard to imagine them even slipping up.
As commentators here, we are literally grasping at straws to find anything to, needle in their execution. They've just been basically perfect the entire way through.
Like, it isn't to say that, you know, when people make mistakes, their execution is bad. Like, people will make mistakes in a game this long. Like, it is going to happen. Even the best players will slip up occasionally. But most races you'll watch, it'll be like, you see someone bonk into a wall or get hit by some enemy that they could have dodged or whatever, and we've just had none of that. So Ryu not quite getting the first hit on Phantom Ganon, but really just nailing the backup there. And
yeah, and stun locking him there really well, using a technique I hadn't seen before with a bow, just shooting at him and thus preventing him from flying back up. Interesting. I'm gonna have to practice that.
I can't lie. I was going to make a comment of, damn, the RNG has been really poor. Like, just because usually you can't stun lock him if he comes from that particular painting. But then Ryu just did it, and now I didn't really have anything to say.
I was going to say, I didn't see if he came from the fence or not, because I noticed he missed the first hit, but I guess he intentionally drew him out from the first hit and then just got him afterwards.
Right, Deku Tree Hens, Frogs 2 is still dead. Let's see, will we get our fifth path in? Will we get information about what's on the Ocarina of Time?
I'm gonna guess it's a duplicate.
The fact we have
The odds are in your
neither of
favor,
us
for
are even
sure.
correct.
Bottom of the well to Twin Rover.
2-0 right now, let's go.
Just a reminder to Ryu, though, that, hey, that bottom of the well item is just waiting for you over there somewhere.
That was Bolero, wasn't it?
Bolero? Is that Bolero? Okay, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, already's got the song. Never mind. I was
The
like,
thing
I'm
is,
surprised they don't play it.
we are more and more getting limited as to what item could lock 2 songs, because at this point, okay, it's not locked by, there is not a forest access song locked by forest medallion.
There could still be
Oh,
with Burning Kakariko. We still don't have the hint for that.
Fair.
all right.
We
Hear
have
me
neither
out.
of
Right?
our song hints right now, which is kind of impressive.
I say, hear me out on this. Right? Letter in Fortress, and the path is irons because you need to get the Kikiri sword in icy waters, and that unlocks like either Saris or Minuet.
I thought you were going to say the hammer on in Ice Cavern or something.
I'm not that. I say I'm not usually that mean, but I'm just thinking of the like at the moment we've only found irons in Path Market. So
True, although have we seen any of the other checks yet? I don't think we've even had a Richard turn in,
no,
have we?
we haven't. No. So we haven't got the bomb bag, so we can't do Bumchi Bowling. We haven't done Richard. We haven't got the lens. But we do have a Albalotric bottle.
Sorry, this is interesting here. So Ryu is going to pick up this song and presumably go to bottom of the well, but SeYsEy leaving as adult?
Doing big pose, I think.
Or, in fact, prioritizing the GTG. The Gerudo Fortress path? I'm not sure. He has a pole.
The only thing I
He
could
has a
think
normal
of...
Poe, he doesn't have a big
Yeah.
Poe, yeah.
The only thing I could think of is if he's assuming it's letter, then you don't want to go backwards and forwards, so you'd want to pick it up now, just to avoid the extra age change. But you still got a third of the chance of it just being on top of the fortress, so you can't get it anyway.
Yeah.
Then you'd at least know. I don't like it. I'm not
then
sure.
again, if
I'm not
it's
sure.
just hovers, then SeYsEy can do shadow. But yeah,
I think the point of like wanting to turn in the letter while child is a potential point there, but the flip side to that is then you kind of don't want to do that until you have the boomerang, because unless you're really prioritizing Ice Cavern at that point, you want to be able to do Jabu when you go there to turn in the letter.
Oh wait, can we get to the chest on top of Gerudo Fortress with a hookshot extension?
I don't think so. No. I think you need to set Scarecrow to do it with hookshot, yeah.
I say you can long shot extend, but
Okay, long shot
obviously,
extend.
Yeah.
But but obviously we don't have the long shot. That's just chilling on top of a volcano.
Yeah. I think the thing with the fortress roof is it's logically available, but neither runner is going to do it at this point.
Yeah, it's logically available, but at the butt end of the world for us.
Oh, is this going to be the first 2 checks in Shadow?
Oh, it looks like it. We're equipping Dins. Market to Queen Goma. Thanks for the reminder.
This is a really heads-up play as well. Right now, you have a lot of options in this seed. Like, you've got so many hints all over the place, a ton of places opened at, like, kind of the same time, and none of them feel great. So this just buys you a bit of extra time for something that you're eventually going to have to do anyway.
So it gives you a bit of time to think as well. Just the process, everything. Because seeing as SeYsEy didn't go over to Fortress, is probably just going to follow Ryu into the well anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least personally speaking, I would be very surprised to see anything after this other than Bottom of the Well. But I think SeYsEy's biggest strength in this game is that, and I know I had a conversation with some other runners yesterday who said similar things. Like, SeYsEy plays very intelligently, and I think there's some level where SeYsEy is going, okay, if I find the boomerang here, then maybe I go to Fortress first, and there'll be some level of this buys thinking time to figure out where to go with each potential item from Bottom of the Well. Okay, if it's Mirror Shield, what do I do? If it's Strength 2, what do I do next? If it's a Bomb Bag, what do I do next? If it's some other wild card item, what do I do?
Oh.
And if I get a big chest item in
Okay.
Shadow Temple, what do I do? Okay, it's just a bow.
I thought it was going to be another
Yeah.
hover boots.
Yeah, you know what? The first 2 races I commentated in this tournament both had hover boots in that chest, so I was ready for it.
I had to have a mild, just a little freak out. Just think, just a little bit, because that makes and breaks races. Anything like that just makes and breaks them.
But yeah, I think SeYsEy is now just headed into the well. Now that I think about it, just doing adult checks that don't cost him a lot of time here, because obviously he will need to do Shadow at some point anyway. He can do the first 2 of Shadow right now, and he needs to warp back to the entrance or walk back to the entrance anyway. Just as you said, it buys him thinking time, and it also just eliminates a few possibilities.
Yeah, like, SeYsEy isn't expecting to find a Bomb Bag or a Boomerang or a Strength 2 on those checks, but if he does, it massively changes his routing, and he loses nothing for doing it. And after all of that, we see them both picking up a dog at basically the same time.
And now
He fetched
the
a
only
lot
difference,
of sticks.
The only difference between the 2 at this point is really Ryu has done Child Spirit, meanwhile SeYsEy has done Tektite Grotto and Shadow Temple first 2 checks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Big Pose, yeah.
And Big Pose, yeah, okay.
So yeah, pretty much the same, actually. It's only a handful of checks each way. Oh, I guess Ryu's going to have to pick up Nocturne as well. We'll have to go into the graveyard and grab the song there.
That won't be too much of a problem, I think.
Okay, we're not going to be seeing chickens into the well, but that's fine. Just wait, where's Ryu?
Oh?
Where's Ryu going?
River?
Interestingly.
Bean? Is this a bean because it's got Bolero?
To pick up the long shot?
To pick up the long shot, yeah. And then he has Water Temple available whenever he likes.
Oh,
yeah, I think doing both River and Bottom of the Well makes a ton of sense, and I guess it's just a sequencing thing, because you don't have a good warp song to get back in here afterwards, so safe quitting out of Bottom of the Well feels terrible. You're going to probably just play Nocturne to get there, or Prelude again to get to River at that point. So if that's the case, if you're already playing Prelude to come here, then why not do it first?
So what's nice as well, that puts Ryu at 15. 15 skulls. Okay. I thought I was thinking of a different Iron name when I saw that.
SeYsEy
Yeah,
getting exactly 1 skull and then not following up on any more child on any more child Kakariko skulls, deciding to do chickens instead.
I think that's just because you can get other skulls along the way, and 20's just so far out with what you've got available.
Getting just enough to hit the threshold makes a ton of sense. I would assume not picking, because some of the Child Kakariko ones are quite fast, so I'd assume not getting the others here is essentially saying 20 is one of the last checks he's looking towards.
Well, we'll see. Both of them are basically synced up at this point, but happy 1 hour, everyone.
Did SeYsEy hand in 3? Was that 3 chickens?
Too
Got
much
League on the
Triforce
brain.
Blitz. Or League.
Got League on the brain.
But yeah, happy 1 hour as we dive into the well. Real quick, shoutouts to everyone who's making this restream possible. Our runners, obviously. Shoutouts to SeYsEy and RyuuKane for putting on an absolutely amazing show. Thank you to our trekkers, Baseball and Diesler, for helping us keep an eye on what the hell is going on, what items everyone has. And obviously, thank you to our my wonderful co-commentators, Yoshi-Kyon and Deadly Thunder.
Shout out to Tobias as well, because Tobias is great. And so
Aw.
Joshi. The
And
two
so
of you
are
fantastic.
you. Ooh, big chest under the debris. Let's see what we have here.
I was gonna say, I thought that was gonna just take that chew on a journey or something.
Okay, that's Mirror Shield. That is
Aw.
very clearly our path to Twin Rover. No
That's
ambiguity on that
boring,
one. It is.
Probably the one you want the least.
It's so bad. Okay, it's fine. The well's just gonna have a lot more items in it, right, guys?
I think there was a comment earlier along the lines of, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them go into the well and find like 3 different items that are all path.
Yoshi, that was you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
mean,
just
isn't that
saying
what
it's
happened
still an option.
Is it? That's what happened yesterday, right? I think. Maybe.
Yesterday had the awesome combination of Well of the Hero and Bait of the Well at the same time, because we got a bunch of progression items, but not the one we were expecting.
Oh, I love that. Nice. But it. I think well yesterday was double path
Oh, it
or
was.
something like
That
that.
was a small key estancia. Yeah, no, well,
Alright, who
well
said
wasn't
that?
exactly double path.
Okay, who said that? Diesler. I'm gonna block you. Sorry.
As a tiny thing, by the way, like, bottom of the well routing is a really, like, contentious part of, like, routing, I think. A lot of people have a lot of very different paths through bottom of the well. It shifts drastically based on, like, what you're looking for. Is it path or not? How many items are you missing? That kind of thing. SeYsEy's movement and routing around here has been phenomenal. Like, not just... It's been really, like, efficient and whatever. Like, I think a lot of top runners are very efficient with how they route it, but he is doing movement that I've not seen anyone else do. Like, cutting corners that other people would generally kind of take a little time on just to peek a couple of extra checks or double back on themselves. It's already one of the best dungeons, and SeYsEy's making it look even better by just taking less time than usual.
SeYsEy is also just he's taken an unusual route through the well. But speaking of movement, his dead hand fight was excellent. That was a quick kill for the books. Basically, a perfect perfect execution of how to kill dead hand without having him dive under the underground multiple times here. Alright, what's that big chest with the light going to have?
Something good, something good.
Hammer!
Ah.
That count as good.
Is it?
You like having it, but you're probably not going to fire anytime soon. Oh, another one.
Okay. Redemption, come on.
Redemption Arc or just Stone of Agony.
So it's gonna be redemption. I hope. Reminder us,
Saving a bomb chew here as well with the bomb flower.
we are still missing our bomb bag. let's remember that. Oh, sad.
You know, I
And
don't
double
think that's
defense.
redemption.
That's no. At least they're protected. A little bit like double defense. I like it.
But for the fire temple that they obviously want to go to.
Oh yeah, of course.
Ladies, chat, do you know what we still don't have? A single hint telling us what's on OOT or Burning Cack.
No song hints. Nope, I thought you were going to say bomb bag.
Well, that too, but I think the no song hints at all is more significant at this point. We are missing 3 songs, and like one of them is in Ice Cavern, and the other ones are nastily locked.
Okay, important question here. Were there any keys bomb locked in the well?
I haven't
Because
seen
that could-
any.
That could just be our explosives for the time being.
Yeah, I don't think there were.
One was in the coffin, one was just
Mhm.
easily available. And I think one was in with Dead Hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so that hammer's just basically our bomb bag then. Nice.
Yeah, it's a very likely high chance at this point that all 3 bomb bags are just hammer locked in some fashion.
But with a market path to Goma, you kind of want a bomb bag.
You do?
So, do you chase hammerlock stuff for a bomb bag? You don't. I don't think you do. I think you just kind of pray that the path is just like irons or something like that, and just go about your day.
You conserve your bomb chews and are very careful with them, and I think you don't worry about a bomb bag so much.
Yeah, I think following through with the bomb chews for now and hoping you just find an out of logic bomb bag is fine. And then if you get to the point where you're kind of, okay, we've done 5 dungeons and it's just Deku Tree left and this path hasn't led to anything useful, then at that point you start worrying about it. But I'd imagine, you know, if you're following that, field grottos are your first stop.
Just a thought. Blink and you miss it, and SeYsEy is done with well in Spirit Temple. What did RyuuKane do in the meantime? I was mesmerized by SeYsEy's play there.
I like
20
more
skulls, I think.
Yeah.
I think hit 20.
Mhm.
But that was
okay.
really the only difference. I think it would be interesting to see where SeYsEy stops in Spirit, because it's going to be a good indication of how far, like how close up these runners actually are.
Mhm. Yeah, this is kind of the point of them evening up at this point. Once SeYsEy's done with Child Spirit, that's it. They've essentially done the same things. So I'll have a really good grasp of both where they go from here with essentially the same options available, and also how much of a lead there is, how much of an advantage there is at this stage.
Yeah, good point. Now they're truly even once SeYsEy is done here.
I think what's incredible is that RyuUkane has done 20 and is still kind of, I say neck and neck, because they're still neck and neck. I think SeYsEy is maybe slightly ahead in syncing up, but has done 10 extra skulls than SeYsEy. Is just still at this point.
This is kind of a turning point there, because SeYsEy warping out here is essentially SeYsEy has now done everything Ryu's done except 20 skulls. Ryu has a dead hand fight and then the locked pits in the basement to do. So we have, less than a minute. Well, about a minute maybe, depending on how nice Dead Hand plays. SeYsEy has to do River as well. Which I guess if he does that now, then that's a definite checkpoint for how close they are.
Yeah, because as soon as Ryu's done with well, it's going to be a straight bolero to plant the bean. SeYsEy's just going to get the bean and plant, I think.
Yeah.
So,
I
do
think
you
it is...
do River here? In SeYsEy's position?
I think so, yeah. Just having the long shot alone means that when you go to Fortress, you can get the item if it's on the rooftop. And I think that alone is enough reason.
August, that is an ugly suggestion, and you know it, but also, oh my god, that would be a very heads-up play.
So Ryu definitely did not do that.
No, he did Hot Rodder, and that's it, thankfully.
I was going to say, shoot him. Shoot the
said,
man, get a discount. So imagine if you could just do that. Like, if you point like your projectile weapon at like a salesman, and they give you a discount because they're afraid.
Do you think this bean seller's afraid of anything? He's surrounded by like evil spiders and octopi and just doesn't care. He just sits there munching away at some beans the whole time.
Okay, you have a point.
While he's munching, and while he's munching them by the fistful, each subsequent bean costs you 10 rupees more. So he's not afraid of anything. He's also not afraid of his, of some shady business tactics, I guess. Supply and demand to the extreme.
I say, why didn't he just face cannon instead? Just fearless man.
And Ryu is out of the well and wants to plant the bean rather here in good grief, in front of Fire Temple in the crater. And now wants to go immediately adult. I think he wants to get another progression dungeon under his belt.
Ryu didn't dip into domain, did he?
No, I don't think.
We just got a central pillar hint, and central pillar is a small key, so that's not it.
I don't even remember Ryu going further upriver to check what this item was. Oh! Oh my
hello!
God.
Wow, yeah, okay, so
That's
the
fine.
first check SeYsEy does that Ryu didn't is huge.
That is certainly a thing.
Okay,
Hello, banana.
Oh.
that was there yesterday as well.
And a
Nice.
Kingzora hint?
Oh.
And that's all our sometimes hints, yeah?
Well, I suppose the upside is, unless they get a scale, Ryu's gonna have to go back upriver anyway. So won't miss it. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, even if they get a scale, no minuet, no serenade, you don't have either song to get there with the scale.
Oh, okay, nice find.
Yeah, big sword ahead of going to fight some Gerudo guards and some Stalfos. Definitely a nice touch, even if it's not necessary.
The thing is, with because of the way Kingzora skip is banned in season 6, so you're going to have to hand in the letter anyway. If they don't get a scale or serenade, River's the only way they're going to be able to get into domain. So if they get letter and no scale, Ryu's going to have to come back up river anyway, so it's not a huge time sink, but it's... I guess it's funny. I guess it's funny that...
Yeah, like, for all that it's an incredible find for SeYsEy to have that now, because he knows he can go over to Fortress, and I'm still assuming that that will be the letter there. And, like, it's all that information. I think it does actually work out better for Ryu, because he won't have to go into domain twice. He can clear the entire thing in one trip.
Oh, Ryu must have found
Dabu is part of
something.
domain.
Ryu must have seen something back here, because
I
Right,
guess so.
obviously we weren't quite able to tell what's...
Oh.
Nope.
Never mind.
No? Okay.
Colossus is still dead, so that hint doesn't help him any. He wants that last path hint. I think he's going hard for hints.
Right.
Did he pick up the Medigoron hint while he was there?
No, he did not.
Interesting. I think that's faster than the maze, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
I
might
kind of
not
just
be
wonder
going
if
hard
he...
for hints and just blanked on the maze.
I think part of it is that we said earlier, you know, oh, we couldn't really see the maze very clearly because magic gets in the way of it. I wouldn't be surprised if the same goes for him. Oof.
Oh.
Couldn't see it very clearly and was just like, okay, I'm in the area anyway. I'll just take the time to check it and make sure. So, this is a handful of things that SeYsEy's done that Ryu hasn't at this point. SeYsEy's turned in big pose, done a couple of the field checks. So again, we're kind of a handful of checks apart, but essentially overlapping here. SeYsEy gonna pick up the long shot. And... Yeah.
The only difference SeYsEy has at this point really is having done River, having done Child Domain. But other than that, they are basically doing the same thing.
Yeah, like assuming SeYsEy goes to the Gerudo area, by the time they enter, the difference will be Child Domain checks versus 20 skulls. I think that'll be essentially it.
I am guessing that with both of them having Longshot and Iron Boots, Water Temple is going to be on the menu for both of them before they ever go go Child again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, likely.
Ryu didn't do DMT Fairy, I don't think.
I think he did.
Oh, he did? It didn't look like he did.
Oh, the green rupee
was-
of Eternal
oh.
Glory. I see.
Ah,
He did it and there
Okay,
was
I see.
nothing there. That's the real thing.
oh,
That's
okay.
why you
there
don't
was something
remember
there,
it.
Gotcha.
Nothing useful.
Alright,
there.
of course. Yeah, okay. Nothing
It's
important.
wild. There's like one check in the game and you just don't get an item.
Bizarre, isn't it?
And it looks like both of them are now headed into the Gerudo area, following up on that path, and it's interesting.
Would you, like, honest question here, would you have done field before doing, like, going over to Gerudo Fortress area? Like, obviously you know it's path, but would you have done field before going?
Good question. I mean, Ryu did Northfield. So did SeYsEy already has done that. SeYsEy is not headed to Gerudo area. He is headed to Southfield and maybe directly to Water Temple? Or might loop over to Gerudo area at this point. We'll see.
I was thinking it when you asked, basically. And I think the important thing here is that you're going to want to go to the Gerudo area and you're also going to want to beat Water Temple. So I'd imagine in Ryu's shoes, the plan is to finish the whole Gerudo area and then drop down into Valley, into Lake, do water while there, and then go out to field. SeYsEy is essentially doing that in reverse. I think personally speaking, and I will say there is a reason I am in the commentary booth and not an active player. But personally speaking, I think I prefer Ryuu's path on this one because there are things that you can find. Actually, no, wait,
Gonna guess this is Bombag.
no.
Bombag?
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's not.
No! Are
Hmm.
you serious?
I mean, could still be Bombag.
I guess
Violence.
maybe SeYsEy's routing better for this then because essentially, you generally speaking with routing, you want to do the thing that will give you more options. So, like, to use a really easy example, if you're going to go and beat 2 medallion dungeons, one is Forest Temple and you have all the items, and one is Water and you're missing a bomb bag. You do Forest first in case you find your bomb bag, so then do the cracked walls. So,
Oh my god,
no!
I reject that. That is not in our Phantom Ganon path.
No. We're gonna just.
We're gonna
Especially given the Iron
erase
Boots
that from
earlier
our
to
memory.
Goma.
And if
And
you want to think that
we know what Central Pillar is. It's a small.
Right, but it was a key, so it could lock
boss
Oh,
key.
no.
or
Boss
river
key
or
chest.
boss key chest.
Yeah,
Could lodge-
it's only 3.
Oh no! Remember, there's only 2 types of checks in Water Temple in Standard. Either 0 key locked or 5 key locked, logically. So.
Oh, BK's Forest. Oh. Oh. Wait. Forest Lot's BK. Oh, burning. No, I'm dumb. I misread
Burning
that.
Cack.
Burning cat, no boss key.
Okay.
I got that
Oh,
sleep.
just
Alright, let's see. Is
see what the
Horseback
items
Archery
are and then
anything
we'll-
useful?
Oh
It's
my
not!
god.
It's the Zora tunic! Oh my god!
wow. So all of that talk earlier about bottom of the well giving you more information and, the fortress one is pretty linear, that's not going to tell you anything. Reverse that entirely, it ended up being the other way around.
So, mark it to
just
Goma
finish.
for I'm just gonna say this. Mark it to Goma for Iron Boots. Gerudo Fortress to Phantom Ganon for confirmed Zora tunic. Game?
So a Kokiri sword in, I don't know, Dark Link, for Ruto's letter in Deku Tree.
We know where Kokiri sword is. That's just on
Yeah,
Bigoron,
sorry.
so.
The
Trade
quest.
item. Yeah. swap them out.
Oh dear. Oh, there's a chest here. Okay.
I don't
I
hate
guess if you-
RyuuKane just going and finishing off GTG here.
But
Oh, no,
guys, where's our
absolutely,
bomb bag? Because if
Um,
crack walls a key, then that's either the 6th. Wait, no, that can't even be the 6th key. If crack walls a key, then this, like, where is stuff? Where is shit? I don't understand.
I don't know.
On the one hand, we're missing so many items, and on the other hand, knowing now that the Zora tunic has passed to Phantom Ganon, the Iron Boots seem a lot more likely, so you care a lot less about a bomb bag.
Oh, as I say, well, with cracked wall at least, because you need a bomb bag, like, to get even get the check.
It wasn't the boss key. It's not relevant. It's fine.
Okay, never mind. Whew.
Bombag is somewhere. We're just gonna assume Bombag is somewhere. We missed it. It's fine.
Look, I will shut up about the bomb bag very soon. I promise. It's just
So
I got
as a point with what I was saying earlier with the routing comes up as Ryuu's play with GTG here. I think on reflection, I think I like SeYsEy's play a little more, like the routing of this field into water and then up to the Gerudo area as opposed to the other way around. Because what do you find that improves water is a bomb bag so that you can get everything logically. Cool. That's not a big deal. What do you find that improves the Gerudo area? Strength 2.
Yeah, and
That
also
one kind of important.
water is just straight up a progression dungeon as well. We are still talking about a dungeon that they need to do anyways. And the only trade-off that SeYsEy is making here is that potentially he might choose to go beyond boss key.
Yeah. Or I guess more accurately, will probably choose not to, and then would have to
Hello, Vanilla boss
come
key.
back here later.
Okay, so that big chest in the maze was just the light arrows.
I need them.
Required? That's all, yeah?
Required, but rather not find now. Rather find, you know, better items, but...
Yeah, the important part is that, like, when you're racing, I think Ryu will be happy to get those still, because it means, okay, you have to go to GTG. There is no way you can skip this. None of this time is wasted.
Yeah. Ah, this jump without hover boots. I can't do it.
It's so nice when you get it, but when you don't and you just plummet, it feels bad.
It's one of
You
those
basically
awkward
just have to
tricks
hit the right... Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's one of those awkward tricks where taking more time on it to try and get it right hurts it, because you need to do the inputs quickly in order to land it.
And you basically just need to hit the right frame, right? Because you oscillate between at the top and at the bottom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so... yeah, and, like, the longer you stay there, you end up, like, dropping down the platform over time, so it ends up just... If you take too long, you'll just fall, and at that point you reset.
Super, super quick and clean Morpha kill by SeYsEy here. Just once again highlighting the execution of these runners. Obviously, both of them doing great in that department, but that was just a prime example of why these two are in grand finals. Morpha quick pull immediately kills it within 5 seconds of entering the boss chamber.
Yeah, we've seen some really good, just like execution and boss fights. Like boss fights are the easy highlight for execution, I feel, and like this is no exception. The Morpha kill is incredibly good. We saw a Phantom Ganon quick kill on one side earlier, and the other one missed the quick kill and then just had a very, very efficient fight with, you know, hookshotting to speed it up and everything on the way through. So just some really good fights so far, and well, we still have Baronet to go, so we'll definitely comment on that again later.
Let's see what Shoot the Sun is.
That looks...
It's
important.
Oh, looks fake.
That's strength 2!
That is
Oh
strength 2!
my...
Oh my
That
god!
is- So that is huge.
That is
That-
massive, yeah.
That was also logically
Whether-
available the entire time since we had Longshot.
Mm-hmm.
But is it though? Is it actually... Are we in logic right?
Yes. You
We
can
don't
get
have
this even
stars.
without beating water.
You can't buy beans.
You can't buy beans.
Oh,
You
You
shoot.
don't have
Yeah,
an
oh.
onwag or a minuet on Burning Cack. We have our Forest Locked Forest song.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's important, no? Actually, no, that's not important. Never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say that's really good to know. Saris is just an ice. Or an AD. Likelihood it's on AD.
No, because
This is ridiculous.
the path to Phantom Ganon still has to be for the song. It has to be Sari as an ice, right? I guess it could be a bomb bag, but no, because
It still,
God,
it
'cause
still
it's in
has to be.
water.
It's in water. It can absolutely be. No, wait.
need to go
That's
back.
locked behind Forest Temple. You can't get that. Oh, hey, bottle number 2. Adult
You
fishing.
need to go back into water, I think, right? To do Dart Link.
SeYsEy doesn't know that yet, but yes. SeYsEy, after going to Fortress, will get that information with the Zora Tunic, and will probably jump down after the whole Gerudo area to do that. Ryu, the sequencing here has actually worked out really interestingly on both sides, because SeYsEy is going to have strength too, and so we'll leave Fortress with, like, having done everything there is to do there. But Ryu will get the strength 2 afterwards, but with the information that he has to do more of water.
Why do we need to do Dart Link? Because Dart Link and the boss key actually in the boss key chest require 5 keys logically. So since we only found Zora Tunic and Central Pillar's a small key, it means that you need that small key to get something, I guess, worth. Like, basically Central Pillar is path. And because it's a small key, you need to get to, well, past Dart Link.
Yeah, we had a confirmed Zora Tunic in... a confirmed path Zora Tunic in Gerudo Fortress. So that means you need to get the Central Pillar check, and that means, likely something in Dark Link or in another place here. Chuckles, please.
Chuckles, get in there.
I'm just trying to think about the key logic for Water Temple here. Because the boss key was locked by keys as well, does that impact the hints at all? And I think the answer is no, right? Because there is nothing that can be locked behind water that isn't also locked behind forest. Morpher had nothing. It was just a piece of heart. You can't get Minuet and then it'd be like, oh, well, there's something in forest because you need forest to get Minuet. So it has to be something in the Dark Link loop, no matter what, that logically leads to Phantom Ganon. And the other one has to be a key. There have to be exactly 2 things there. One is required and one is a key. Can it be the bomb bag? That's the thing I'm trying to figure out. Was the long shot needed? And I think the long shot is not necessary for any of that.
Yeah, there was no small key on Morpher, at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Like here?
I
was gonna try. Come on, it was worth a try.
It was good. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, I guess the point I'm making is, can you get your 5 keys to go to Dark Link Loop and get your first bomb bag without having a long shot?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
What's the bow target? Morpher's piece of heart.
Target, we don't know that one.
We need to know bow target. If that's a key, then is there a world where that can be the 6th key?
It was an item on the cracked wall. We saw an item on Morpher. Did we see 4 items? Or do we see 3 items and know where the 4th is?
Central Pillar's a small key, right? I don't think we've seen Dark Link, have we?
We have not.
We have
not Dark Link, not River Chest.
Alright,
so
moment of truth.
Meanwhile, so while we're waxing philosophy about Water Temple, SeYsEy is in Dungeon Rush mode. He has everything he needs to clear Spirit Temple, so obviously he's doing that.
That's a small key.
Okay, at this point then, yeah, this can no longer be a bomb bag, unless hovers are available. Or a scale.
Yeah, but it is an important item in here, and Ryu has that information, so Ryu is obviously following up on that, diving into Water Temple as deep as he needs to get that stuff.
Is that an item?
I think it was, yeah.
Which big item. Big chest on boss. Big item on boss key chest here. Let's see what it is.
Oh. Okay, bet it's strength 3.
Gerudo's what?
Oh, wait.
Oh, what? Oh!
Wow.
What? Oh! I think, yeah, boss key was logically 5 key locked, so you needed to get the boss key in Water Temple. This was a bombless Water Temple. You needed to get the boss key, you needed to beat Morpha to get the Strength 2
But
on Shoot the Sun!
So the scale is available somewhere to get the long shot?
It has to be.
Or the hovers?
Or the
One of the
hovers.
two.
One of the two have to be available.
What haven't? Lens game. They haven't done lens game, have they?
But you still need the bomb bag to get...
No.
Like, unless the bomb bag is in Spirit, or behind the Strength 2, that still doesn't add up, because you still need the explosives to then beat Spirit.
No. You got the hammer from Well, didn't you? Magic in CAC, wasn't it? And then the
Magic
lens
was in
in
CAC.
Open Crossbow.
But bomb locked.
And
But
Hammerlock.
hammer.
In...
Hammer?
Oh,
No,
hammer!
Yeah.
What if it's just... What if hovers is just on lens? Or something, or a scale, or something. Because that would add
Something
up,
that gives
right?
us access to river. That would basically solve this whole thing. Oh my gosh! SeYsEy with this heads-up play has just I think taken a decisive lead.
Yeah, that's just insane though. The routing, I said the pathing and the routing really coming together.
Yeah,
There
but
is
Ryu is.
still-
Go ahead.
There is still a point with this in that you're still missing an item to do all of that, and I think Ryu is going to get the... I like... You are still missing an item, so even by doing these checks, Ryu will have that information that it is exactly this path, whereas SeYsEy has that ambiguity of, well, it could still just be something in water. So I would not be at all surprised to see SeYsEy come back here at some point. Because as much as it's easy to say there are all these items that lock all of these things, SeYsEy needs those items.
So I'm just gonna say this is my path sketch for Gerudo Fortress to Phantom Ganon, and that is fucking disgusting. Zora Tunic to beat Morpha to Strength 2 to Rudo's Letter to Saria's Song. You didn't... I disagree.
You don't need to... Oh yeah, you don't need to beat Morpha. Like, Morpha just lifts up the water, but you can get Scarecrow Song.
You can just get the long shot. Yeah, you can just get the long shot and Scarecrow to do that.
Hey, then that can't be it, though.
That's yeah. I'm not convinced on this. I think we're going to see something on Ryu's side. The question is...
Yeah.
Yeah, Central Pillar's a small key, though, right? At least that's what...
Yes, yeah.
No,
I think
Master Alex. Rudo's Letter was in Spirit Boss Key chest. But we're gonna see soon. We're gonna see either on Darkling's chest or River chest. Well, Dragon chest, possibly.
The most likely one, and then in that case, you can get the scale or hovers in order to... was that the trade item?
Big item.
That was the trade item on Twin Rover.
Oh,
and it is explosive. Okay, so
Oh
this is kind of okay. I think the scale or the hovers are available to get your long shot, and then the Zora Tunic is to get your bomb bag that you need to beat Spirit. And there it is. Yeah.
This is just pain. This is pain because you could
now. There is
But
one really good thing about this for Ryu, and don't get me wrong, Ryu is not happy to see that bomb bag by any stretch. But there is one really, really good thing on Ryu's side here, and that is that you know it has to be the scale or the hovers are available, and you need the hover boots. The problem being, it could just be a scale. So do you then follow the early spheres thinking it's hover boots to get your long shot, or do you ignore it on the grounds that it's scale? How much information does this actually give you?
So, but this is Zora Tunic to Monarchy Logic bomb bag.
Yeah.
To beat Spirit Temple, or to get into Spirit Temple to the chest locked behind the Spirit Boss Key chest for Rulo's Letter, right? So we can get Saria's Song in Ice Cavern.
I didn't see where all of the keys were, but I'm guessing one of them was in the adult side before the final key door. So you need a bomb bag to kill the Behemoth to get into that area with the 4 Amos.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, there was definitely a key behind 4 Amos. I do remember that.
Yeah, so I think the bomb bag is for that specifically, and you cannot get that. I think scale or hovers has to be available. I'm not 100% on that, or another strength. There could be another strength somewhere.
I would just like to submit, this is a seed worthy of Grand Finals.
Because, okay, I want to hash this one out quickly, because this is really intriguing to me, and, like, the logic is where I thrive in this game. So notably, you need hovers or scale to get the long shot, because otherwise you cannot get to that strength 2. So even having the explosive spirit, you cannot get to the Ruto's Letter at that point. So the long shot and the strength 2 is not available until we get a scale or hover boots, because there is a bomb bag there. Unless that bomb bag is available without the long shot, so the bomb bag then gets you the beans. Never mind. But that's not why it's path. It's path because you needed it for spirit. Jesus. Okay, I think that's it.
All right, guys.
Basically,
let's see about treasure chest game though.
TLDR, everything's in logic, but it's path because you needed to kill a Behemoth.
This is just pain. That's why there was nothing in DC. Everything's just pain.
Right. There's nothing alright with this seed. Don't you dare do this to me.
I don't know. I think SeYsEy's doing pretty good right now.
Oh my god. 4 rights.
All right, can we make it a 5th?
Oh,
yes, we can.
There is nothing alright with this seed. I am offended. Fenris, you have it. As well as the John Lewis. Congrats. For nothing in treasure chest game.
I say you won that piece of heart, and that's love right there. But nothing more than that. But now SeYsEy is obviously going to be dungeon rushing, but where can hovers be? Because if what we're assuming is that it's either between a scale or hovers for...
No, I think chat was right about part of that one. The bomb bag is in logic without the long shot, but the bomb bag isn't path to then get the strength 2. It's path because you kill a Behemoth for a key.
Oh.
So everything is in logic at this point, and you see where you stand after Deku Tree and Jabu? Which is incredible.
Jesus Christ. Oh my. Okay.
Very notably, though, and it's kind of been pointed out earlier, but we're still missing a path hint.
At this point, do we care? Well, we care if it's
absolutely.
the bongo.
We do. We do. Yeah,
the 2 bosses we haven't seen are Baronade and Bongo.
Baronade we have access to though. SeYsEy is just going to do that after Deku.
Essentially, there's a 50% chance that your remaining path hint goes to the correct dungeon, and then you need it to be the correct item.
So basically, not Kokiri Forest.
But yeah, let's get a bet going for the hover boots, I think.
If everything's in logic, then I'm gonna... Hold on. There we go. Definitely haven't been caught out by that one before.
Also worth noting, the Baronade hint could only hint... Oh god, no wait. The Baronade hint could hint things to get into Spirit Temple.
Oh god, yeah! Lake
I was
Hylia
gonna say, we had a hint from Ruto's letter. It can't be that, but it can be things leading to that. So yeah, if there's a
Yikes.
Baronade hint, it could actually
Oh,
still
good
just
grief,
be
please.
some horrendous things.
I'm going to close a bet. If we find the hover boots, obviously, or if SeYsEy or when SeYsEy beats Goma. Just to note.
I got my bet in. I'm fine.
I'm waiting for the swathe of betters who always bet something that it cannot possibly be. I haven't seen a single Bongo bet yet.
Yeah, hold on. Where's Drew? Where's Drew at? So Drew's always good for that one.
We do appreciate. I do appreciate some of the joke bets. Not in the seed. This is a reroll. I'm particularly fond of that one. And remember, the more specific bets beat the more generic bets.
So, were you about to get the first piece of bad information?
If I recall correctly, yes, VXR. Yeah, Ryu is about to learn that there's a Rudo's letter in here, and he's going to be probably as confused as we were about the logic here.
Yeah, and that's why the Zora tunic is path to Phantom Ganon, is just that key in the hallway down there. Yeah, so there's the first piece of bad information, but the second one will come after a short Twin Rover fight. I guess, short if Ryu is hoping for a short Twin Rover fight. Doesn't always play nice.
Namaha, an absolute hero. Bet in the chest that has the hover boots. Thanks.
The worst part is I read that and my first thought was, we've already seen that chest. Like, it was a big chest, but it didn't... Yeah.
Hey Namaha, why do you get to be president of the Tautology Club?
Just because.
Serious business with a good point. Yeah, again, do we actually know whether Saria is on OOT or on Ice? Because it could just be Tunic or for bombs for TC completion to AD Sarias. Obviously, no.
Yeah,
It's
we've
just
got no idea.
far more likely. It's, there are 3 other items that... Oh, I guess, yeah, no, if the bomb bag is path there, then yeah, it could just be that. Yeah? No,
Last
no,
chance to
yeah,
bet,
okay.
folks.
Good old Lax.
And there we go.
Pet the moon. Nice.
I read bet the moon, and it's like, you know, you're placing the moon. Like, that is your bet. You are betting the moon on something. Damn, I can win the moon if I get this right.
I'm just imagining, you know that emote, Yoshi. The new moon.
Oh, right.
Alright, SeYsEy continuing his dungeon rush, done with Deku,
Yeah.
and now on the way to Jabu. Obviously, no quick way to Zora's River here, just has to take the hike.
Yeah, we're much less likely to see anything of note in Jabu. There are, 5 checks that SeYsEy will pick up here, 4 in Jabu itself, 1 on the Fairy Fountain, but we've already seen all of Domain. We're not going to see much else around here. But after that, the world is open. You know, where do you go from there? Notably, SeYsEy still hasn't done Gerudo Training Grounds, so that is some time there that he will have to spend. He'll find his light arrows there, but unless the Strength 2 room holds the hover boots, won't find much else of interest, and Ryu can gain a little bit of time back on that one. We also, of course, have Ice Cavern. We haven't seen anything of Ice Cavern yet. What more do you have beyond that, though? There isn't a whole lot else, I guess. Bomb Tube
Fire?
only? Yeah, Fire Temple.
Yeah, there really isn't much else. Have they done Child Lake?
I don't think so. No, no
Um,
Serenade, and neither of them went down there earlier, right?
Don't think so, nah.
We also don't have a Skull Mask hint, notably, and that would be really funny if at some point you just... Okay, funny for us. I don't know. I don't think they would appreciate it. But
For a given value of funny. We also don't have any
Oh.
OT hints at this point. Just mentioning that again.
never mind. Apparently we do have a Skull Mask hint. All my fun
Oh.
ruined.
Can't believe they would ruin your fun like this. How dare they? Oh wait, have they done Haunted Wasteland chest?
Nah.
No, nobody reversed.
I can't remember if that was hinted or not, but Ryu is doing the fairy, because missed it last time.
Songs are hard.
Is leaving though. So maybe it is hinted.
Straight out.
Oh, that's another thing as well. Is Ryu going to take the time to hand in the letter?
Ooh.
Wait.
Yeah, he has no idea where that boomerang is. Oh, dang!
Yeah, actually, that's a fair point. Ice probably not super valuable for him. But he's going to go Child to do Deku Tree anyway. So at that point, I think you turn in a letter because your options after that are somewhat limited, and Ice is one of the better ones. SeYsEy up to 17 skulls now, by the way, so is like using up that time that Ryu spent earlier getting the 20 very early. SeYsEy is now slowly catching up to that point.
Yep. But we do know that 20 skulls is not necessary, and SeYsEy will be able to just pick up the remaining skulls that he needs to check that inside Jabu Jabu here.
I didn't comment on the eye drops cutscene, by the way, but that is the one recent change to the dev branch that I haven't seen yet. On the dev branch, a bunch of the cutscenes were removed, and that's one of them. I've not seen that one yet, but the faster version of it.
So those cutscene removals are so weird.
It's so nice though. Little bit of adjustment, but it's nice to have.
So the water one especially. Like
For anyone
playing
who's
with no
curious what
audio.
we're talking about here, by the way, the website has both the standard branch and then a dev on-site branch. And yeah, that dev now has a couple of cutscenes removed, like the Burning Poe paintings, the big Goron eye drops, the Water Temple gate opening. Herox doing incredible work out here.
Yes, indeed. So bombs are skippable. Oh.
Oh?
Big chest in the boomerang chest, I think. That was boomerang
Is
chest.
it? Is this it? Is
Is
this it?
It's a wallet.
That's
It's
not
a what's
right.
it? Hmm.
But I guess that's why
It
there's
was the
Aura
compass
Tunics.
chest.
Like, there's your wallet locked by letter.
Yep.
I was like, the direction Ryu was going in right there was like, that's river. Wait, why are you going river before Deku? And just readjust the angle. I'm like, oh, okay. Never mind.
It's fine. We can still see Ryu's speed on the commentary page. I just need to press refresh. Technology.
We love technology.
There we go.
But yeah, Ryu notably behind in terms of, you know, the obvious progression thing here. Has to do Deku, has to go to River to get the Rang, which I assume he will do, but and then also beat all of Jabu that SeYsEy's, you know, halfway through at this point, a little over half.
Yeah, but SeYsEy still needs to go to GTG
Yeah.
and grab that.
And then I can only assume Ice after that is the next stop for either runner. Even knowing that the song won't particularly matter, what are your other options at this point? I don't expect them to go to Fire Temple and full clear that, so...
Yeah, I think before you do fire, you definitely do ice.
I think in Ryu's position, for sure, SeYsEy GTG's like the point of call you go to first.
Yeah, yeah.
And then afterwards, it's kind of hard, really. Like, between ice and fire for SeYsEy, like ice is quicker. I think it's probably ice than fire.
I think so, yeah, because even if Fire has more checks, the time it takes to do those checks is so great compared to Ice that, like, I don't think... I speaking personally, I think Ice is generally not a great play, especially for checks only. But it's at least faster than Fire. Like, that's a low bar, but it is faster than Fire.
Question is, if you find Zarias in there, do you do Zarias song checks before you head to fire? Or do you just accept your fate?
Probably Fire first at that point. That's once you're down to that kind of level, you're looking at, you know, down to a handful of checks left, or a handful of locations at least. So there's not much you can really kind of avoid at that point. You're kind of at the stage of, I'm probably just clearing out everything on my path. Like, I would expect SeYsEy going over to the Gerudo area would have done all of GTG, would have done the toilet if we didn't have a hint for it. Which is something that, you know, earlier in a siege you're more likely to skip because it's slow, it's inefficient, but the later you get, the more likely you are to just do everything, I think. And if that's the case, cutting out that age change is a nice potential bonus.
Yeah, but then you are really just doing Ice Cavern for the items. Because if you expect Zarias to be there,
Yeah, and I think Ice Cavern for the items is terrible, but I think Fire for the items is equally terrible, if not worse. And it's kind of at the stage there of there are no good locations left after SeYsEy's done with training grounds, of course. Like
Yeah,
there
fair.
would be nothing good left, so you're kind of down to the least bad of your bad options.
All right. So as SeYsEy has just beat Goma, and Ryu is headed. It seems to be headed up the river, which is his fortune, because he's going to find that boomerang and obviously be headed into Jabu straight away. Happy 2 hours, and shoutouts to everyone who's making this restream possible. Thanks to our runners, SeYsEy and RyuuKane, for putting on an absolutely amazing show. Thanks to our trackers, Baseball and Diesler, for allowing us to, or helping us to keep an eye and understanding of what is going on in the seed and who has what. Thanks to my awesome co-commentators, Yoshi Kyon and Deadly Thunder, for keeping us all company today. And obviously thank you to everyone in the tournament organization of the OoTR Season 6 tournament for putting on this amazing tournament for us. Is, I think, probably a good point to thank them all, because there's a lot of people working behind the scenes to make this all possible and pull it all together.
Yeah, a ton of work and a ton of people putting in so much effort making everything come together in this, and we get to sit here and enjoy the results of it, which is an honor in a lot of ways. Like it's really nice to be able to sit here and do this, and at the same time, like, that is because of the work of countless people at this point.
Mm-hmm. Right, SeYsEy going adult, likely with GTG on the mind. Let's see what Light Arrow cutscene has. Oh, SeYsEy, don't forget your legs!
Alright. Are you
There's
picking up the
Ryu's
boomerang at the time? Yeah. So, are you heading into the Jabu? Jabu, a deceptively kind of long dungeon, very front-loaded on checks, and then tentacles and big octo and everything else. But clearing out all of the GTG, also very slow. It kind of doesn't get as much of a reputation for it because it's an incredible number of checks to the point that it's still very efficient to do. But we're probably going to be seeing them making decisions again around the same time, and probably similar decisions, so be really interested to see where this shakes out at the end of this, assuming SeYsEy doesn't find anything relevant in the Strength 2 locked room.
Yeah, that's really the only thing that Ryu's going to be worried about, is if there's anything in that strength lock room. Because even notably, Ryu never hit the switch either, so I think it's just probably gone, I'm not coming back here.
Likely, yes. So we'll see. If Strength Lock Room obviously has the answer for SeYsEy, then yeah, that's bad for Ryu. But we'll see.
Also, we're gonna see this. Wasteland chest, anyone?
Haunted Wasteland chest.
I say, Ryu did skip this. And for good reason, apparently.
SeYsEy just capturing that Skulltula.
We haven't found the 30
points,
hint,
I'm
have
sure.
we?
We have.
Have we?
Yeah, it's dead.
Dead? Okay.
I was going to say, the other notable thing with the Strength 2 room, as a side note, is one of the kind of fun aspects of this has been people getting more accustomed to chest size matches, content, and everything. I am sure the runners have a very good idea of exactly how many keys and how many items are in that room. As a commentator, I have zero clue. I do not know how many checks they are getting in there. It could be 4 and it could be 1.
Heads up play by SeYsEy here, knows that he doesn't have the need for much money anymore, so invests that into a 10-pack of chews from the carpet vendor, just so he doesn't have to worry about explosives for the rest of the seed. Because he hasn't gotten that bomb back from Water Temple. He's missing that piece of the logic puzzle that we know.
Yeah, actually, this is SeYsEy's first time in Fortress altogether, right? So
Correct.
we'll get the information here that your Zora tunic was passed to Phantom Ganon, and that probably doesn't send him down that path, but knowing that Hovers could have given him the long shot, and then remembering the spirit keys, there's always the potential for the long shot in those. So there's a world here where SeYsEy ends up going back to water, and there's a world where he gets to cut that time out compared to Ryu.
I am going to guess that he's going to do GTG first, though. He's in
Oh,
the area.
for
He's
sure.
not leaving here. And he's going to show us more checks that Ryu wasn't able to do back then. So
Mhm.
we're gonna know a
Fine.
little bit more about where they stand once SeYsEy has made his way to the strength room, I should say.
Alrighty, Ryu opening up that wallet. We have seen horseback archery, so this is the two nothing checks just to kind of confirm that it is that Zora tunic.
Yeah, you don't believe it's a Zora tunic until you actually see, oh, horseback archery is nothing.
So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see after... Oh, SeYsEy doesn't have the rupees!
There's a 20.
Right.
There's a red rupee available in the guard room, and he forgot about grabbing that after he
Got those
beat the
shoes on the
Gerudo
way
guard
in,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think it's interesting here. The big kind of split point will be after SeYsEy is done with GTG, assuming he finds nothing here. Obviously, if he does find something, then there's no question. You find the hovers, you go and do shadow, you finish. But if he doesn't, I think the big question is going to be if he opts to go back to water or not. Because if he does, I think Ryu is gaining that time on him. Not just in the sense of, obviously, Ryu has done water, so SeYsEy will be spending time doing things Ryu hasn't. I think that will be enough time to put Ryu ahead on the next decision. Whereas right now, I think if SeYsEy skips out on water, SeYsEy will be making the next play first.
Okay, 1500 horseback archery. No problem for SeYsEy, obviously. And let's see. About that GTG play. I am really... Oh!
Oh?
Just had a little technology malfunction on my commentary page. There it is.
So to note here, yeah, SeYsEy does have to do the Gerudo training grounds. It is required to some extent. The light arrows are in the maze. We don't know if there's anything in the Strength 2 rooms because Ryu did this before going down to Lake Hylia.
Yeah, so this would be an immediate. I mean, SeYsEy might grab the hover, or if SeYsEy finds the hover boots here in the Strength 2 room, I think he just bails and leaves though. Don't think he's going to do the rest of GTG, which would be to Ryu's advantage.
I agree, although I think it's more likely that SeYsEy finishes, gets the hint, and then goes back for them than Ryu goes back for just that Strength 2 room.
We'll see what happens.
Skip.
I can try. Save time.
Okay, moment of truth. Let's see what's in the Strength 2 room.
Might at least poke his head in the door of the maze room and see, oh, I have access to this big chest. Let's at least open that before I leave. We'll see. At this point, it's all theoretical. Might just not be anything in the Strength 2 room here. It's a key, it's another key. What else?
Oh?
Oh, at least one big chest.
Alright,
And it is just the one?
But, how?
Okay, your long shot locked scale. Incredible.
It's... I mean, it's useless anyway. Because you got irons to get you to irons quicker. It like saves nothing. Oh, jeez.
You know, you did mention earlier though, we haven't seen Child Lake.
That scale.
There is a world where it's the Ruto's letter spot, like
Oh,
the diving
that
spot
is...
in Lake.
Ooh.
We haven't even seen it. Nobody's been there to peek it, right?
No, we haven't ever been to Child Lake.
Yeah, no one's gone. Oh.
That scale could still matter.
Okay, don't leave. Don't leave. Okay. Ryu's leaving. Never mind. Also, for anyone new coming in, this is a randomizer, so items aren't going to be where they are in the base game. They're going to be just in random locations, hence randomizer. And you need to find the certain items in order to beat the game, like for other dungeons, I guess. I can't speak right now. But yeah, do refrain from making accusations because
Yeah, we don't joke about cheating on this. Even though we assume you're joking, just don't.
So
Doesn't
at
do
this point,
anybody any favors.
So I'm gonna assume that you've never seen Rando.
Did we see the castle fairy, by the way? I want to say yes, but I'm not confident.
Wasn't there a
Not
hint?
sure.
There was not a hint.
There was not a hint. Well,
wow, not a hint.
No. Okay.
Right. Okay then.
Of course.
Perfection.
Well, that's SeYsEy done in GTG.
Ganon's castle, I think, was
Yeah, OGC fairy was hinted.
Yeah, yeah.
So
picking up the hint here
because
you
don't have
path hint.
Yeah,
wants it.
50-50 for it to be Bongo. It's...
Here we go.
30
Oh,
dead,
stop.
and he can also
There's
obviously
no
check
way.
Castle 3.
There's no
Obviously,
way.
we're seeing Castle 3. It's the Grand
There's-
Finals Game 2. Why wouldn't we see Castle 3?
Ryu, an absolute hero. Let's see it.
You know what? Frog Warp in the game yesterday, Castle 3 hint in the game today. Ryu's won my heart, if nothing else.
Let's see about it.
What is it gonna
this
be?
what we need? Zora's River to Baronade.
No!
Oh no!
Could have been so
All our hopes
good.
dashed.
It could have been the one. Now it could be anywhere. Whoa, hold on. Yeah, Yoshi, I think you're getting called out.
Look, I'm allowed to celebrate Castle hints and Frog Warp. That's allowed.
Hold on, I'm getting called out. What do you mean I'm cursing us again? What have I done? I've done nothing.
I was going to say, I think it was me who called the hint in the river to Baronade earlier. So it's actually, I think you're getting called out for me again.
Damn it. I'd say I've done nothing wrong. I don't know what I'm being blamed for. Oh, okay. Now Ryu's gonna be doing the first two checks.
Oh, SeYsEy's headed back into water.
I was going to say, SeYsEy's not done Child Lake. He doesn't have Scarecrow, right? No, he doesn't. He is going back to water.
Oh, SeYsEy gets to learn the horrifying truth then.
So I imagine if you
That
invest this time getting the bomb bag, you don't know if your opponent's done this or not. Ryu obviously did bomb tube bowling on the way through earlier, but even in SeYsEy's shoes, I think you then want to go and do bomb tube bowling. So I think SeYsEy is going to invest a lot of time into this.
Yeah, SeYsEy is giving I think about 5 minutes, maybe even more, back to Ryu here. Ryu will do the first two of Shadow, is slowly running out of checks, is either going to do Fire next, or if he chooses to avoid that for now, he will do Child Lake and he will do other child checks.
Yeah, there's definitely a few options of things we haven't seen yet, and Ryu is now going to get to them first. I'm really interested to see if, like, it is kind of that adult-child split is the other thing. SeYsEy, if he goes child, will full clear it. Now, having the bomb bag means he has the means to do everything as child. And at that point, you lose no time. You go child, you do you lose no time to age changes specifically. Because you go child, you do all the checks, and then you go adult, and that's it. Like, you're not age changing again to beat the game. If you're looking for your boomerang, it's a different story.
So at this point, I'm no longer sure who's ahead. Honestly.
I think Ryu has the advantage in the sense that we are going to see new checks from Ryu before we see them from SeYsEy. But
And you are correct, Ryu is headed to ice.
and also I think if SeYsEy does end up going child, I think those checks are typically less efficient than the adult ones. So I think those are kind of two edges that Ryu has, but you know, the nature of a randomizer is it only matters where the items are in this seed, and for all that I think Ryu has an advantage here, if those hover boots are just waiting in child fishing, SeYsEy is probably getting to that first. I guess the flip side, actually, I said about getting the bomb bag, you'll be able to do everything as child, but SeYsEy won't. SeYsEy won't have Sarias. Ryu is the one who would be able to do everything as child.
Right. Oh, wait. Does Ryu know that King Zoro's dead?
I do not remember where that hint was at this point.
Was
I
that
think so.
Upper River?
Upper River and Remote Grotto. Thanks, trackers.
Oh, okay, so yes, then. I was gonna
Or
say
thanks,
that
Bias, whoever wrote in this one.
I'm gonna be honest, I have not. One monitor, yay! That's my excuse at least. Also, who turned this into a hockey stream? Who did it?
Trackers. It's trackers.
Who's responsible?
It's always Jamie.
You
Oh! Yeah, fair. Vidya's in chat. Anyway,
You know what?
Ryu is about to show us new checks that we haven't seen yet, so let's focus on that for the moment.
I don't think chat wants to. I think they're just focused on hockey.
Part of me is just trying to figure out the routing at this point, because, like, obviously we've hashed over this a little bit. Ryu doing ice now, we kind of said that's the likely play, and then fire is probably the next one. So firstly, there's a question of, will SeYsEy make the same calls? But secondly, that's a big test.
that is a big...
But then, yeah, secondly, there's also the question of, will getting Sarias change Ryu's game plan? What do you do if there's nothing in fire and your next play is terrible no matter what you do?
I think there are no good plays left at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. That's a slingshot.
Not it.
Okay.
Not it.
Have we seen Target
Not
in the
it
woods?
for sure. No, we have not.
I think we have, though, right? I think we have seen Target.
Okay.
Okay, we have.
I think.
Chat says that we have.
Look, I appreciate having chat here to remind us of, like, hints and checks, because it has been 2.5 hours of watching two incredibly fast-paced runners. Like, we said about the high execution. That means they do things really damn quickly.
Blink and you miss it sort of thing.
We noted earlier, like, all of the work that everyone does, and we definitely appreciate the work that chat puts into this as well. That's a Frost wind, an ice cabin.
So does SeYsEy continue here if he finds the bomb bag?
I don't think he can, because I think that's the final item for him.
Right? Oh yeah, item counting is a thing.
be.
There's only 4 items in water. Yeah, okay, get it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this Frost wind would have been nice, ages ago. Just saying.
True.
Yeah, it's a little late to be useful here. I guess you'll get to use it in that one room in Shadow where you go into the pot room and then use Furrows. But that's it. That's not doing anything else.
SeYsEy just like, is this it? No, here's your bomb back. Dancing Darinia is still an option. I don't think we've had a hint for it. I think the only thing that was checked in Child Goron City was Rolling Goron.
Looks like SeYsEy has now had a child. We might see new checks on his side as well. The Sarias lock checks, possibly. No, wait, that's not gonna be it. The lake check though.
Yeah.
You just hike to lake at this point. That feels incredibly bad.
Did SeYsEy just play Prelude or save? Was there a save as adult? Because I didn't see it. But if there was, then I would not be at all surprised to see Bomb Tube Bowling and then just reset to be adult again.
Yeah, so I missed that.
I missed that detail as well. Let's see.
I didn't see if he did, but if he did, then that makes a ton of sense at this stage.
He's doing bombshell bowling now.
Serenade's on OOT then, isn't it?
Yeah.
It feels bad. But it's just that anything that's out there in Lake is going to get left behind. Although that being said, they've got Minuet, so they can just dive.
They've got Minuet, they've got a
through that
scale
way.
at this point, and SeYsEy is getting that gold scale now. And it really just was just Ice Cavern for the song, and it is Serenade. Sarias is on OT.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible. That bomb bag was
all
in
dungeons?
fact,
Question mark.
it's logically all dungeons to get to Forest in the Seed, and that bomb bag in water was to get through Dodongo's cavern. And potentially fire as well, but at least Dodongo's cavern.
Logical AD. What?
And remember,
And then it
Sarias
might
song looks
still
at
be hard
least 2
acquired.
checks.
Yeah. Right. At this stage, you were logically meant to have Sarias already, so those 2 checks are fairly early in all of this.
I think fire's going to be an interesting one, because if you go there and you're not locked, then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so I can do Sarias lock checks, but if your hover's locked in fire, then that just cuts down what checks are available to you.
Okay, so SeYsEy playing Bolero could still have been ice or fire. Looks like it's ice. So SeYsEy going to be following in Ryu's footsteps here, and Ryu is going to make the play to fire. It is just the next best play at this point. So a ton of information, and also just more checks than anything else available at this point.
First check in fire hovers? Oh god. I say, worst part is it could be?
Either we're climbing real far in fire, and hovers are behind Sarias song in some fashion. Or hovers are chilling in fire, because I think we've run out of checks in the rest of the world, but mostly.
I think the important thing here is if we're hovers locked in fire at any point, then that's just, you just leave. How do we know though? I guess no key. I guess boss key and no keys in lava room.
Also, I'm catching up on chat now, and I'm seeing that I got baited earlier, and that we were not in logic for that bomb bag. And I said that, and then got convinced that it was in logic, and now it turned out it wasn't. So,
so are we still not in logic then? Is that it?
Like, the bomb bag. Like, I forgot about the part. I think I said it at the time, and then got told otherwise, and just trusted it. But the fact that the central bow target was a key with no long shot and no hovers, you can't get that. The long shot is locked by bombs or scales or hovers.
Or hover boots could just be right here. Oh,
it's
boy.
just the start of fire. Incredible.
Oh. All right.
They could have had that so early, but why would they have gone?
And that all makes perfect sense. If I'm curious to see how much they follow the logic here, because that did give a lot of information that those hover boots had to be early, but that was not an easy one to figure out.
Wow. Just wow. Okay, Alex is saying that he did? Can I go back that far? I can't check, sorry Alex. I can't.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happened with the bets.
I'm looking at it. So we have Hammer Chest, Fire Upper Mace, Deep Fire. That's really not true. All of you premium bettors were betting Deep Fire.
Paying for the worst place.
The stupidest place imaginable. Fire Temple from Master Alex is the first. Do we have any specific? Fire Bosky Chest. Who needs a life? Called it out exactly.
Oh,
Impressive.
Namaha? Was that Namaha, wasn't it?
No, Namaha said the chest with the hover boots.
Oh, technically, yeah. Okay, you know what?
Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Never
Doesn't
counts.
count. I don't reward meme bets.
Namaha won.
So, just as a side note, going back a little bit through tournament history here, just to kind of peek things here. It's looking like Ryu is going to take this one, and that's 4 out of the 6 major tournaments here. Winner from loser's side doing the reset and coming back to win. This will be the 4th time in 6 tournaments that that's happened.
I'm just proud, like seeing how far Ryu's come, like just in OOT in general. Like I remember seeing this guy play in Scrub Season 1. Like that's how Ryu, first started, and now it's gonna be Season 6 champ.
It sure looks like it.
He's grown up.
Like, it's worth noting as well, right? Both of these runners have been incredibly good for an incredibly long time. SeYsEy barely takes part in anything, so people don't really get to see his play as much. But Season 3, he was in Challenge Cup, and then has just consistently stepped up from there and, taking it to grand finals, winner's side in this tournament from him this season. Ryu made a big name for himself at one point, and then kind of dipped into other randomizers and started looking at other games a little more and focusing a little less on OOT, and then has just come back with a vengeance this season, and is well on course to be Season 6 champion. Yeah, really impressive from both of them, honestly. Also, yeah, just to the stat that I mentioned, Season 1, ATZ got the bracket reset against What the Hells. Season 2, Marco got it against What the Hells. And then Season 4, What the Hells got it against Sponge.
Yeah, Ryu not bothering to check. Just straight up go mode. Guess what? Just have to ask what it is afterwards. Not picking up potential stone of agony. Yeah. Just reading that. Yeah, Vixen, pretty much. An item check is anything in the base game that could potentially give you an item. Depending on what settings you have on, those become checks that could, will have items that you need to beat the seed. So you've got different settings, like in random settingly, you've got scrub sanity, which have all the scrubs turned on, while in standard only 3 are. So a lot of stuff, a lot of checks, I guess, can come out from that.
Okay, Ryu with most of the keys already here, but we know how Shadow tends to play. Might have a chance at skipping the back, but
So when
that
do you
fan
ever go
room
mode
strat
Shadow?
was right. Never get to. Also, that fan room strat was like one of the first kind of big strats I remember learning, and it still impresses me watching it done perfectly. It just looks so good seeing like really kind of fluid movement in that room. Bomb bag. Hey.
Definitely bomb locked. I say we got the boss key, haven't we?
Mhm.
In Shadow. So
Yeah.
we just need this to be a small key. Never. C can never give us what we want.
Nah, obviously
it's-
we have to go to the end of Shadow for this.
Every
Yep.
time. Never get to skip this maze. Actually impossible. It's also worth noting as well, and you know, we talked so much about how their execution's been really good, and you know, there's a ton of wild logic to follow in this seed, and figuring all of that out has been really interesting and everything, but the mental state for the players right now, like, it is nerve-wracking enough playing any tournament match, let alone grand finals, final game, you're in go mode, which is always that's the most nerve-wracking part of a seed, is the very end, where you've made all the decisions, you've done everything you can to influence this, now you just need to play the game. And no doubt in my mind that both of them are, you know, hearts beating a mile a minute at this point. It takes absolute nerves of steel to get through things like this, so
I think what's even worse, it's go mode Shadow. It's not even like go mode Deku or go mode, like it's not even like a short dungeon. You have to do everything in Shadow. It's just like, oh, can this just end? And then when you finish Bongo, it's like, do you even check the race room at this point? Because it's just like, you want to know, but at the same time, it's just like, you don't. It's just...
For both of them, the puzzle has been solved. That's the good part. So, it is. I don't see any way in which RyuuKane will still lose this. So, at this point, I think it is fair to assume that Ryu will be our Season 6 champion. But SeYsEy will at least know, okay, I've found everything that there is to find. I know where all the important items are. It was just a matter of Ryu got there first.
yeah.
Yeah, this bounce back and forth, like, I think things diverged a lot with SeYsEy doing field into water instead of GTG into water into field, but it really, all it came down to is just finding the hovers, really.
And I feel like the logic is kind of the key part of all of this, both the split on kind of the water and Gerudo area routing, and then the fact that SeYsEy went back to water because of those hints really ended up being the difference. SeYsEy having to kind of go back and kind of backtrack a couple of times, like, you know, we're talking tiny decisions here that end up shaping the entire race, but that's how it's going to play out when they're finishing a few minutes apart. And yeah, I think SeYsEy ended up basically having to backtrack that a little bit more than Ryu did, because mostly Water Temple.
Right, yeah. No, like having the Zora tunic path knowledge.
The final joke of the scene.
Oh, if they didn't have lights already.
That's just rude at this point.
You're just like beaten down to the ground, and it's that like final kick before leaving.
It's like, get moving. Come on. There, you know something as well. There is a world where if any of them decided to take that hammer to fire sooner, like just to do like the I was about to say the courtyard. It's not the courtyard, the lava room. They could have had that strength as their second, and that is baffling.
Yeah, and like obviously, if this is the other notable thing is 1v1s are so different to kind of larger races, weeklies, qualifiers, that kind of thing. If this is a bigger race, somebody goes into fire early, gets those hovers, and finishes the seed far quicker. You don't have to in a 1v1. You are beating one player and you are playing around what that one person is doing, and that's it. The timing they got Bolero with meant there was never a good time to do Fire Temple. You get Bolero to go into fire, and you also get the long shot, which then gives you reason to go to water and fortress, and that sends you on this spiral of items into spirit, Deku, ice, everything else. So the way it played out in a 1v1, it's unlikely you are ever going to go into a fire. In a qualifier, you probably see a much faster time on this seed, but neither of them played this like it was a qualifier, and rightly so.
I'd have concerns if anyone did.
In a qualifier, you can make up a lot of ground with a wacky play like that. Oh, there we go. SeYsEy just making that. But obviously in a 1v1, that's a whole different ballgame. You play safer. You don't go for go for the let's say riskier plays there, because you just fear that your opponent, by going with the more sensible, in air quotes, play, might just win. You play much more to the odds of where would the item have the best chance of next being.
Yeah, I think the big thing with a qualifier as well is like, if you get something slightly out of the way, and 3 or 4 people do that early, and you put it off for ages, you lose a ton of points. So you kind of just have to play safer. You have to do these checks that someone might have done this within the first hour, so I have to do it fairly early. And in this situation, there's a decent chance that leads to Fire Temple. In a 1v1, you're just playing around what your opponent's going to do, and if you think your opponent is just going to go for the consistent, statistically best play every time, that's what you play around, and that's what they have played around. Alrighty, Ryu getting that jump slash with the big Goron sword stored, so Ganondorf only going to take the 5 hits here, then re-equipping the setup for both of these fights at once.
Very clean.
Very quick as well.
Don't forget to jump.
And this is also the point as well, where I said earlier about it being nerve-wracking, your, heart is beating a mile a minute and all of that. This is the point where I think the majority of players are constantly, you've got like 3-4 cutscenes in a row during this fight, constantly looking at the race room. Are they done yet? Are they done yet? Back and forth.
You are nerves. Like I've heard a lot of people get really nervous during the climb, and this whole fight here is just all you can do is just take a deep breath in and kind of do what you need to do. Only lose. Okay, I misread that as only losers start sweating, and I completely missed the U. I was like, oh. Only losers start sweating? I was like, oh, goddamn. I'm a massive loser then. The nerves get me every time. I think that's hit number 3. Is this number 4? Ryu's just, I think, holding his breath right now. Alright, everyone. Get your GGs in chat.
For your new Season 6 champion, RyuuKane!
Just have his audio on for this. Stop it up!
Yeah. So for context, we have Ryu's got his camera on his stream, and we can see that. There was a pop-off when he won. He jumped out the seat.
That was a happy Ryu, if I ever say so myself. Very, very happy man right there.
All right, let's get him in here. Let's get our champion and our runner-up into this booth. There they are. Now they just need to unmute. Here's your champion. Here's your Season 6 champion, RyuuKane, and the runner-up, SeYsEy. GG's, folks.
Oh, thanks, GG's.
GG, Ryu.
What?
Wow.
What a race. What Hold on, what is... Ryu, I'm sorry, I'm just watching your stream. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, you'll see.
What is this? Pink hair for Eco? What?
What are we looking at here?
For the
Was there a bet?
record, yeah, Ikola said that if I was to win S6, he would dye his hair pink.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, incredible. Okay.
We are looking forward to that particular photo, I guess. Whew.
Amazing.
I mean, so what are your thoughts on the seed, first of all?
I think it was a pretty okay seed. There was a lot of info to play around. I did not play my best looking for that info, I think, but in the end it worked out for me, so I guess it was okay.
Yeah, the first part of the seed was pretty interesting until you have to find overboats once again. And yeah, Rondo is Rondo. It's another casino, and yeah, of course, almost last location, the Fire Temple. So nice Rondo.
I was going to say, we definitely had a lot of discussions in here about how those hints exactly played out. How much did you both manage to follow the logic around the first bomb bag, and whether or not it was long shot locked, and kind of that whole chaotic mess?
I actually forgot where Bolero was, and I only realized when I finished Ice Cavern.
Oh.
And that's when I thought, oh shit, I made a huge mistake here.
Yeah, at first I thought that Gerudo's ladder was on Fortress to get either Minuet or Saria at Ice Cavern, but then I found Gerudo's ladder on in Spirit Temple, so I got a bit confused, and then when I went back child doing Jabu and Deku, I was trying to think of what is happening in the seed. And I thought about maybe a scale in Fortress, but I was a bit confused, to be honest. And then when I found the Zoro Tunic, I was like, oh, okay, that's just highly probably the bomb bag in Wild Temple. So,
Okay, so you did Water and Spirit before going to Fortress then?
no. I did Water after that because I thought it could be Overboots and the bomb bag in Shadow Temple. But yeah, maybe that was a bad decision. But
okay.
We definitely got hung up on our end of the key in the central bow target in particular meant you needed the long shot. So then it was like when you both almost simultaneously found the two different scales completely separately to each other, but at that point we're just like, okay, well, both of these are locked, so all of a sudden it's that bomb bag isn't in logic, you get the long shot with hover boots.
The logic chain at all in total was very silly. You go Zora Tunic, Bomb Bag, Logical AD, Saria Song for Forest Temple access. Just I think a confirmed path Zora Tunic is a worthy element of a seed for Grand Finals. That was amazing.
All of that for a bomb bag. God damn.
Yep.
And that was good info at least, but was pretty junky.
We were
Pretty hard to
convinced it was. So we were convinced it was going to be Letter, and then obviously SeYsEy found Letter in Spirit and was like, oh, and then obviously the eye drops were like, oh, okay. So suddenly SeYsEy's just taken a bit of a dungeon lead here, and then you found the bomb bag. It was like, hold on, is it like we like the whole logic chain for this, like Yoshi said, was we spent a lot of time trying to figure it out.
And I guess that kind of brings up another interesting point there, because it was a very back and forth race. There are, as is always the way, right? There are 100 things we can point at. It's like, oh, if this is different, the result changes, and countless things to look on. But I feel like, I guess, do you think you'll watch it back is the first point? Because I think there's a lot to kind of take from that in terms of the routing there.
I mean, it all came, to me at least, it all came down to forgetting where Bolero was. I guess if I had remembered that earlier, I would have routed most of the seed completely differently. Because I was pretty sure my Bolero was in logic, but it was not.
Right.
So what would be your different route then?
Well, for starters, I wouldn't have skipped that many things. And I think if I remembered, like when I got the eye drops, I would have gotten into fire right away. Like I would have gotten the Kokiri and then I would have deep fire. Because at that point I would have wanted to know if fire is hovers locked or not.
Ah, okay. So just before we ask any more questions, folks, chat, get your GGs in here for SeYsEy, your Season 6 OoTR tournament runner-up. GGs. Finishing second today with a time of 2:54.24. Dude, both of you, I think Cup said it best before the race even began, said it in the race room. Congratulations to both of you for making it to the finals. It's in the nature of this thing that there will only be one winner in the end, but good grief, both of you gave a good showing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I still can't believe it.
So, what else can I say? This was an exciting season. I think Ryu, your play. I was still confused about your play in the beginning of skipping Lost Woods, Kokiri Forest, and SFM. What happened there?
You mean when I went adult immediately?
After Child Spirit, yeah.
Exactly, after Child Spirit.
Oh yeah, because whenever I start at market as child, usually my routing is go to ranch and then go straight adult. It just happened that I got some shoes and Requiem, so I just decided to do Child Spirit on a whim. But my goal was to go adult straight away. Unless, of course, there was Minuet in Honor Requiem, of course, but wasn't so.
So just wanted to skip the hike, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. Okay. Well, I'm kind of done. I don't have any more questions for you. Yoshi, Thunder, help.
I think most of what I had was around the logic, and
yeah, I think everything was pretty much covered. I don't know. I mean, I'll say this for one, Ryu, like seeing your journey in OOT has been, it has been a joy. Seeing how far you've come, especially in the last 2 years.
Pretty long journey, yeah.
It's been a very long one from was it Scrubs season 1?
I started by the end of season 3. So my first official tourney was Baby Dodongos, which was at the same time as Scrubs season 2.
Oh, Scrubs season 2, that's it. But like, still, coming from Baby Dodongos and just improving all this time has been. Let's just say, as someone who has been watching like since season 3 and since around Scrubs season 2 as well, it's been great seeing the progression. Just saying, I'm proud.
Thank you.
I guess the other thing I'll say is, like, what's the next chapter in this rivalry? Because apparently you two just keep having best of 3s in different tournaments. Well, you had the League Season 1 where you had your 1-1 and then you did a playoff match. And now we've had this where you've done essentially a best of 3 in this bracket.
Yeah, maybe there will be another one in 7.
Yeah. Next year.
Yeah. Hopefully I can win one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tournaments starting up like very soon. I think we've got RSL starting up. We've got mixed pools.
Yep, bunch of stuff going on. All right, but I think shall we kick it over to the boss man?
Sounds
Be
good.
quiet, I'm playing Tears of the
Wait.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Before I change the interview page on screen to a live stream of me playing Tears of the Kingdom, I thought, hey, why not wrap up this season in style? And in style just means me rambling about the usual things. You don't know me for anything else. Well, what a season. It's kind of funny because next week we were supposed to be on LAN finals. That, as you all can see, didn't turn out great. I'm not even sure. SeYsEy, Ryu, would you have been able to come if the LAN finals would have been next week?
Okay, so actually, I answered yes, but I don't think I could have. I couldn't have made it anyway. So
All right.
I'm kind of glad we didn't.
I could have done it on my own.
Oh, all right. But yeah, this sadly didn't turn out. The organizer kind of vanished from the face of the earth. I'm not sure. So
yeah, maybe next season, hopefully.
yeah,
It could be great.
yeah, I'm hoping. I'm actually looking into financing options for that. Maybe we can make it work. But yeah, what a season. We could do it at my house. Yeah, that would actually work. But I kind of want to do it in style because the community deserves it to be in style. So we'll see if there's something I can do about that. But yeah, season 6 started out rough. Lots of arguments, lots of discussions about settings, lots of, well, we came off a big streak of cheating and lots of discussions and arguments and rule set arguments even in the community. So that wasn't the best start out for season 6. Let's put it that way. But frankly, when the settings were announced and after everybody played it, the turnout showed that everybody kind of enjoyed playing it, and the participation was great. And well, that never means that everything went perfect. It just doesn't mean that, and it will never mean that. We're still kind of happy how it went, and I can just say thank you so much to the race moderation team, because frankly, I'm pretty sure you all know, but that job is shitty as shit. That job is just being the ass for at least 50% of the community at any given time. But they're still pushing through. And one thing I can promise, our current plans for season 7, if we can make them work and we're on good track for it, that will have nothing to do with season 6. Nothing. Simply nothing. It will be a different format, and well, that's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh.
I hope you all will be excited for this, and in the meantime, you have a ton of tournaments to go through. There's so many tournaments coming up. Multi-World just wrapped up. Challenge Cup just wrapped up. Mixed Pools is just around the corner. League has started up. RSL is starting, or is going strong all year by now. Actually, Trifoot Splits is going. No Logic is pushing more and more, and we're pretty sure there's gonna come more of that soon. So just plenty of stuff, and I all hope you're gonna be there for it. We'll publish a feedback form post this season, of course, because we want to hear your feedback. But there's a few people I want to shout out, especially. And that's, to start out, that's the new French restreaming team. That's led by Ara and by Barbu. And as you all know, the past few years, French coverage was growing by the minute, and it wasn't always easy for us to get everything under one umbrella, basically, and to work together. But this year, it felt really natural. I know the restreamers like Poppy, Grant, and Icola for the grand final matches really did a fantastic job. And I hope we can extend on that partnership and just work together more. As you all saw, we had the first French language channel on the Discord, and well, I kind of want to extend that if the French community is interested. And I mean, we had 2 finalists of the French community right here, right now, so they showed more than ever that they deserve the recognition that they sometimes maybe do not get. So that was important for me to say. But I also want to give a big shout out to everybody that volunteered. We had a huge turnout of volunteers for the season 6 matches and restreams. Our coverage team today, our coverage team yesterday, and all over the season. And one thing I didn't say yet, but the 2 most active volunteers for commentary and tracking of the season will get a special reward. I'm not saying what it is yet, but they will get a special reward. And that's part 1 of our series to make volunteering on the restreams more rewarding. There's more to come, I hope. No, it's not a big chest. And I
Is it
hope...
a small chest with rupees in it?
No. It's also not Greg. That completely caught me off guard. Jesus. But yeah. We'll work on that one too, because as you all know, we're constantly trying to improve. And hope you give us some more time. One big part of that is gonna be the big update to OoTRandomizer.com, which is coming in the next few months. The preview's done. Just the layout design preview. It's looking amazing. We'll see when it's done, but it's gonna get there. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say. So big shout out to everybody that participated and contributed, to everybody that watched. Over 500 yesterday and today I saw. Big shout out to our crew today, to Tobias, to Yoshi, to Baseball, to Deathly Thunder, and our second tracker, to Diesler, who already left. Big shout out to SeYsEy and Ryu. Fantastic job throughout the season. And to everybody of you, thank you all so much for watching, for playing, for volunteering. And see you hopefully way before Season 7.
Thank you, Tress. And I think the only thing for me to say is thank you as well for organizing and for all the work you put into this. I know it's a huge passion project for you. And obviously all the ZSR staff. And with that, I think the only thing I can do is rate you over to the French restream, because these two still need to do their interview over there, and I think we should all listen to that. Folks, it's been a pleasure. Thanks everyone for having us, and let's go say hi to Puppy Count and the rest of the French restream crew. Bye everyone.
Thank you.